you, and welcome to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, in a game that will help decide the SEC East. A series that dates to 1893, renewed today as Kentucky comes to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. And here's what the standings look like as you're watching SEC Network football presented by Allstate. Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee still in the mix for a trip to Atlanta. These two teams going head-to-head, playing an elimination game today. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Heisman winner Andre Ware. So here we are. This series that has been dominated by Tennessee now becomes a knockout game, and Kentucky still with a chance to make it to the SEC title game. How does Kentucky make it to Atlanta and win today?
With their running game, it's been spectacular the last 3 weeks of the season. Benny Snell, Boom Williams, they've been playing out of their minds. You see the 434 yards and 5 touchdowns for the true freshman Benny Snell, and then Boom Williams, certainly capable of taking over a game at any time. 3 touchdown runs to his credit the last 3 games of the season here.
Kentucky hasn't won the SEC since '76. Tennessee hasn't played for an SEC title since 2007, and Josh Dobbs their leader again.
Yeah, you look at Josh Dobbs, I think it's with his legs today along with passing. He's going to have to be a big part of this offense. 18 touchdown passes, that's 4th in the SEC this year.
Tennessee won the toss. Vols have elected to receive. It'll be Tyler Bird back to receive this from Austin McGinnis, and we are underway in Knoxville. Bird has a chance. Here he is from the 3. And Tennessee all orange today, head to toe, and Bird takes it out to the 18. Ball came loose. Eerily similar to what happened last time Kentucky won here back in the early 80s. The ball recovered by the Cats in that game. They say he was down. Tennessee was down. In that game, Kentucky recovered a fumble on the first play. So injuries have been a concern for Tennessee all season. For more on that, let's go down to the field and say hello to Cole Cubelic.
Tom, Chance Hall came back on this Tennessee offensive line, helped boost things up front at tackle. Not going to be available today. Drew Richmond will get the start. Tennessee has used 5 different starting combinations up front on the offensive line today. Richmond at left tackle. He hasn't been there since week 2 starting out. Have to protect Josh Dobbs today if this Tennessee football team is going to move the ball and be successful.
Yeah, Cole, and Drew Richmond struggled a little bit earlier in the year. Going back to the redshirt freshman at left tackle, it could be something that we keep an eye on. Denzel Ware and Courtney McGinnis, the 2 defensive ends for Kentucky.
8 different starting lineups in the secondary due to injuries. 5 different across the offensive line, as Cole mentioned. Shaheem King banged up on the kick coverage unit for Kentucky, so he'll go take a seat. It's a series which Tennessee has dominated. They've won 30 of the last 31. Dobbs will hand it off on first down. Alvin Kamara, battling a sore knee, is able to rip off a 7-yard gain. So here's what's on the line for Tennessee to win the SEC East, get back to Atlanta. They must win today. That's the bottom line for the next 3 hours. They lose today, they can forget about it.
Yeah, Florida loses one of its last 2. They got a shot, or when Kentucky wins, get back into this here after this play.
On 2nd and 3, Dobbs fires left too high, trying to find Jawan Jennings, and that will bring up a punting situation for Tennessee. 3 and out on their first punt. Pardon me, bring up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and you want to get Josh Dobbs some easy throws. Well, that's one. That's one he's got to hit to get his footing early in this ball game. So later, it opens up things in the run game. Spread Kentucky out a little bit, soften them up on the edges, and then come back and let the offensive line do work.
Bunch to the left, Smith, Malone, and Jennings. Kentucky brings pressure. They run it with Kamara, and he is hog-tied and dropped by Chris Westry. We'll see where the spot is. Westry has started every game of his Kentucky career, and he's able to come up on run support and make the stop.
Yeah, watch Westry enter into your screen right here. Nice big tackle, and wasn't a face mask. Got him around the shoulder pads. Added 10 pounds since last year. Very good press cover corner. I feel very confident in his abilities to match up in man-to-man coverage.
They'll bring the chain gang out on here in this opening drive for Tennessee. David Smith is our referee today. And Kamara just short. So 4th and inches for Tennessee. And Butch Jones trying to stress his way through this game.
Yeah, I got to believe that you're just going to go hard count, try to draw Kentucky offsides here. It's early. This would essentially, if you don't pick it up, Kentucky's already in field goal range.
They've only converted 2 4th downs all season. They're bringing in extra tight end Jason Kroom on the left side, Ethan Wolf the tight end to the right.
And this is what I don't like, the shotgun. In situations like this, put him under center, let him quarterback sneak. Big guy at 6'3", 210 could push his way to a first down. You allow for penetration in this situation.
I can't believe they're going to go for it here.
I can't believe they're going to snap it either.
And we may have had movement on Tennessee's side.
Now they're definitely punting the football.
False start, 63 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And maybe just one possession, but early momentum for this Kentucky defense, which has turned it around after the first 3 games.
Yeah, watch Brett Kendrick along the right side, the right tackle. He's the one that flinches, and it cost Tennessee maybe an opportunity for a first down if they were going to snap it in the first place.
Here's Trevor Daniel on the kick. Only South Carolina has punted the ball more often in SEC play. That's not a great sign. And this is a booming kick from Daniel. Walker fumbles the return, and he falls on it back inside the 15. Field flipped thanks to a 56-yard punt and a loss of 6 yards on the return by Charles Walker.
See him here trying to track it. It's such a big punt. You know, he's going back 15 yards or so to retrieve it, and really got lucky to get back on the football.
So Stephen Johnson and Kentucky come out for their first crack at it.
Watch for Boom Williams, Tom, to get this thing started for Kentucky.
He's a big play threat. School record 7 rushes of 50 yards or more.
Yeah, it felt like they wanted to establish the running game first with Boom Williams.
Here comes a corner blitz from Tennessee. Johnson keeps it. He's got it all alone down the right side. Stephen Johnson on his way into Tennessee territory and finally dragged down by Emmanuel Mosley. You, me, Tennessee, 102,000 here. We all thought it was going to Boom. Instead, 75 yards for Stephen Johnson.
It's an excellent read by Stephen Johnson. He could have given it to Boom Williams with the corner blitzing off the edge, but there is no support outside. Once the corner crashed, now it's just Stephen Johnson and a lot of green grass. Well, I tell you what a play by the quarterback, the junior. The College of the Desert, the junior college transfer.
Longest play of the year for Kentucky's offense. First and goal after just one play. Here's Boom, and there's a score. Kentucky needs just 2 plays to cover the distance after that great punt.
What a start to this game for Kentucky. It was set up by the Stephen Johnson run. They get great blocks up front. Big John Toth, the center, sealing off things, and just walking in basically untouched was Boom Williams.
Kentucky hasn't won in this stadium since 1984, but they have an early lead here, just like they did in that 1984 game. Austin McGinnis on for the point after for Kentucky. Only 2 plays to cover 85 yards. Johnson had 75 of it. And then Stanley Boom Williams with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And in a series dominated by the orange and white, it's a team in blue that's up early.
I never let dry skin ruin my day.
What dry skin?
Exactly.
Gold Bond Men's Lotion. Everyday moisture hydrates dry skin. Intensive therapy keeps extra dry skin smooth. All with 7 intensive moisturizers and skin strengthening proteins. Man up.
Attention, Holiday Inn Express guests! Everyone, go back to bed! Repeat, everyone, back to bed! My new Snooze-a-Palooza is in full effect. That means late breakfast, check out till noon. So sleep in, baby! Snooze-a-Palooza is gonna be great.
Definitely.
What?
Definitely.
Definitely! High fives all around! Yeah! You're eating, okay.
Late breakfast and check out till noon. Just what your weekend needs.
It's the moments we share that mean so much. It's the little things that add up to something more. It's playing the game without knowing the score. And it's the place in our hearts filled by the ones we love. Franklin American Mortgage. It all begins with home.
We gotta have great focus in here today.
Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good.
This is what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want. Let's go, man.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Let's go back and take a look at the big play by Steven Johnson. You're going to get man coverage across the board. Man from over the slot's going to come down inside so hard that he chases Boom Williams, thinks he has the ball. That clears it out once the play fake happens from Steven Johnson. Then it turns it pretty much into a foot race. The man-to-man coverage, every defensive back with their backs to the play, and then you get the safety in the middle of the field looking right at Boom Williams. To this point, he's still thinking he's got the ball. Now he's out of position, and it's a foot race between the secondary and Steven Johnson. What a play fake by the quarterback.
Tyler Bird will fight for it. And instead, Tennessee will bring it out with Josh Malone. There's two guys in the secondary that should know better. Yeah, they've had 8 different starting lineups in Tennessee's secondary due to injuries, but it was Rashawn Golden on the blitz and Todd Kelly Jr. at safety, and it resulted in the longest play of the season for UK.
75-yard run by the quarterback to get a start. You talk about getting footing early in a game. We just talked about it with Josh Dobbs missing on a second down throw, a simple hitch route to the outside. He's not involved yet. Steven Johnson, that's what it takes for him to get things going. A nice big run, which was set up perfectly.
Well, Tennessee has been a great comeback team all season. They've been a slow starting team for the most part all season, opposite of last week against Tennessee Tech, as Kamara gets brought down by Pringle. Here's how Tennessee lines it up on offense.
Yeah, watch for Josh Malone. 7 receiving touchdowns, second in the SEC. He's their big play guy, one of the best, in my opinion, just pure route runners, hands, everything in all of the country. Kind of underrated, flying under the radar this year.
Coming off a career-high 112 yards against Tennessee Tech. They're looking for him deep. He comes back for it. A beautiful catch with great hands. And that's a Tennessee first down. Edwards and Beatty bring him down after a gain of 10.
That's so smooth, this Josh Malone. Love watching him. Watching him play, and I love watching this guy as well. Jordan Jones, 81 tackles, 3rd in the SEC. He is a sideline-to-sideline player that will show up in a nasty way all game long.
Jones and Courtney Love, 2 Youngstown natives, and we've got another flag on Tennessee. It'll be their second, the same number of possessions.
15 offense. Penalty is 5 yards. Second down.
Never understand, Tom.
Correction, first down.
A lot of those receivers, Juwan Jennings, anyone else on the outside, you're not really even listening for a snap count. You're just watching the ball. Half the time you can't hear it.
So 1st and 15. Dobbs will take off on a quarterback draw. Great blocking downfield. He's got Wolf in front of him in a convoy. And Dobbs finally dragged down inside the 35-yard line by Mike Edwards. It's a run of 41. Who knew the quarterbacks brought their running shoes today?
Both guys certainly capable of making plays. You get the motion, spreads the defense of Kentucky out. A couple of nice blocks inside. Look at Ethan Wolf, the tight end, chasing down the field, trying to free up Josh Dobbs. Love the effort.
They fake the screen left. Dobbs looks back right. And that one is incomplete. On the previous play, by the way, Juwan Jennings had one of those key blocks, but he limped off the field, replaced by the intended receiver, Jeff George, there. 2nd and 10 for Josh Dobbs in Tennessee. John Kelly now enters the game at running back.
They really like him. They like his energy. The number 7 prospect in the state of Michigan by ESPN coming out of high school.
Kelly gets his first touch. Hesitated behind the line, and then he found his way through. He is a tough runner. You know, I was told about John Kelly today that before every practice, he goes up to every position coach. Doesn't matter the positions he's never played. He said, "Coach, put me in. I can do it. Let me run drills with the D-line.
Just a football player.
Let me run drills with the offensive line. Let me get out there with the receiver."
And it's contagious. Your teammates want to play with you when you have that type of attitude. You know, he didn't complain. Came into the season as the number 3 rated running back on this Tennessee roster. Now he's found himself in ball games early.
Jennings back on the field for Tennessee. That's Kroom in motion. Dobbs on play action. Looking deep. Corner route. Touchdown, Josh Smith. Wide open on the busted coverage.
Zone coverage, Tom, and if you get caught peeking into the backfield, think and run, you stay with the play fake too long. Watch the corner at the top. Safeties peeking in the backfield, Mike Edwards, and they just let Josh Smith run free into the secondary.
Shaping up early like one of those Kentucky-Tennessee shootouts we saw back in the day. Here's Aaron Medley for the point after. High snap. Parker Henry, the holder, bailed out Riley Lovingood, the snapper.
Watch the play fake with Josh Dobbs holding the secondary. Now wide opens Josh Smith. Gonna knock this thing up at 7 apiece.
I'm my team's #1 fan. Yay, sports. I've never been #1 in anything until I put these babies on. Now we're on a winning streak, and I have never taken them off. Do I know where I'm going? Absolutely. We're going to the playoffs.
Allstate guarantees your rates won't go up just because of an accident, starting the day you sign up.
So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
It's good to be in good hands.
It takes hours of practice for a drumline to perfect its routine. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is just as precise, but only takes a few minutes, so you can get a custom mortgage solution without missing a beat. Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics.
Rocket. Gotta have great focus in here today.
Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's when the game gets good. This is what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want. Let's go.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
Happy Veterans Day to all of our troops out there. You've provided us so many opportunities.
Thank you for all you do for the United States of America.
As we know, freedom is not free.
We wouldn't have college football or the ability to play it without our freedom.
You know, we live in the greatest nation in the world.
Be blessed, stay safe.
And we know that you're very special.
We owe you a great debt.
From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. God bless.
From Vanderbilt University to you. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
I can't tell you thank you enough.
Happy Veterans Day.
LSU on the SEC Network.
13th long touchdown pass of the season for Dobbs, best in the SEC, and he's tied this game up.
Yeah, and it's a great call by Mike DeBoer. Great design as well. Juwan Jennings going to run a simple hitch on the outside. Jason Kroom occupies the middle of the field. That's going to occupy both safeties. They go with him, get caught looking inside, and that allows Josh Smith right up the seam for Josh Dobbs. Watch the action. Two safeties take the middle route. Forgets about number 25, Josh Smith, and it's an easy throw and catch for Joshua Dobbs.
Elsewhere, Austin Appleby with a touchdown pass for Florida. Gators lead South Carolina 7-0. Jeff Badet steps out of bounds at the 20. Let's take a look at where to watch. We're already seeing some of this come to fruition early, Andre.
Yeah, Kentucky wanted to run the football. They have to run the football in order to win. Continue their dominance on the ground. Got a chance to see it early with a big Steven Johnson run, and then Boom Williams capping it off with a touchdown run. Josh Dobbs, dual threat. We saw him with a big play with his legs, followed by the touchdown pass to Josh Smith. No turnover so far. The way it's shaping up, these two teams scoring on one another, the first turnover might win the ball game.
Well, there might be more than one turnover. Tennessee's coughed it up 20 times. Kentucky 22, two of the worst in the country at taking care of the football. Steven Johnson wants to throw, and he delivers it to the outside. That is Dorian Baker, and a first down. Here's what needs to happen for Kentucky to win the East. This is really simple. Win today and have Florida lose their last two conference games. They've got a lead against South Carolina right now. They still have to go to Baton Rouge.
Before it's over, you'll hear the name Jake Bentley down in Gainesville. That one's very, very early.
Here's our first Wildcat of the day. It's been 27% of their offense the last 2 weeks. Stanley Boom Williams takes the direct snap, and he goes straight ahead to pick up a few before Elliott Berry stops him. Starters for Kentucky. Flew two of the top running backs, to the top 10 running backs in the SEC.
Talk about the two running backs of Williams and Snell, but it's Jeff Badet on the outside. He's their deep play guy. Second in the FBS in all of college football with a 24.1 yard per catch average. The kid can get deep.
Johnson, deep drop, and they try to set up the screen. It was knocked away by Kyle Phillips and company. This is a Tennessee defense which lost a lot up front. They lost two key linebackers. They lost key secondary players. So they line up today, November 12th, like this.
Yeah, but one guy that's been in the lineup every week and a steady player that everybody in the SEC talks about is Derek Barnett. 9 sacks on the season. That's 5th in the FBS.
Pocket holds for Johnson. Crossfield pass is incomplete, and Kentucky will kick it away. Ryan Timmons, the intended receiver.
You got to believe there was a bust.
And we got a flag on the play regardless.
Yeah, with Timmons and Badet, they're in the same area. Two receivers, one guy can cover both, and it's a tough throw for Steven Johnson.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 39 on the defense. Penalty is 15 yards. Automatic first down.
That's Kendall Vickers, a junior from Havelock, North Carolina. And Butch is none too happy.
He has been pretty much a consistent player all season long for Bob Shoop and this defense of Tennessee. It's uncharacteristic of Kendall Vickers.
So the drive still alive. Benny Snell Jr. and a tailback for Kentucky. Here's Snell. 6 yards before Kyle Phillips brings him down. He just has a way about him to run through traffic.
He has a sense for where the soft spots are. Once you get through the line of scrimmage and to the second level, you see the production in the last 3 games. 434 yards, averaging about 6.5 yards a carry, and he's getting it into the end zone. But a true freshman doing that type of work in the SEC.
Baker, the motion man. 4-man rush, and it is knocked away on a big-time hit on Dorian Baker by Elliott Berry, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Gervonta Stallings, the right guard's got to get out there a little bit faster and cut off Elliott Berry. You'll see the right guard trying to pull out, allows his man to go and get there a little bit faster to pick him off for Dorian Baker.
It's the second time Kentucky has tried to set up a screen, and the penetration's been too much.
When talking to Eddie Grant, he wanted to run the football, then start to work the edges with a screen game, and then take some shots down the field.
3rd down 4. To the slant, and that's nearly picked off by Cameron Sutton, who's back healthy again. Converging on Jeff Badet.
What a player. Just always in the right place at the right time. Excellent in coverage. You see the recognition, the route recognition. That allows him to break on the football as quickly as he did and break that thing up for Burdette. But when he's on the field, what a weapon. Not only in the defensive backfield, but on special teams as well.
Josh Smith back to receive this punt. Over his head into the checkerboard, a 43-yard punt and a touchback. So Tennessee able to play its way out of trouble after the 15-yard personal foul penalty. Tied at 7. Tennessee back on offense after this.
You give your all here and here. You're building a foundation that will lead to opportunities, that will open doors. Yet so many smart, talented student athletes leave college prepared to make money, but ill-prepared to manage it. That's why Regions Bank has provided more than 64,000 presentations in communities throughout the SEC to teach individuals good sense money management. Because understanding the value of a dollar is just as important as earning one.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the...
This is our workshop. These are our lights. Performance is our tradition. And this is the TLX. Take advantage of some of the best offers of the year at the Acura Seasonal Performance event going on now.
This holiday, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX. Hurry, this event won't last.
The most magical time of the year is also the perfect time to take home a new Honda. Like the Accord, the best-selling car in America. Hurry into the Happy Honda Day sales event, only at your Honda dealer.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, proud supporters of college football. It's good to be in good hands. And in part by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Push button, get mortgage.
November 18th, 1995, Peyton Manning led a big-time second-half comeback catch. Led the Vols 31-16 in the third quarter, but Peyton and the Vols had scored the next 18. Only one loss that season came to Florida. Vols finished second in the nation after taking down Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl.
Love the shoulder pads. Big shoulder pads, less injuries. Protected back then.
Here's Dobbs, who keeps it on the zone read, trying to shake the first man, and he fights his way for some yardage before Courtney Love brings him down. The idea for Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, is that we want to call 12 running plays a game for Josh Dobbs. Yeah. It has been the same number all season. Can they win today with that number?
I think it's going to take a few more than 12. You know, Cole, we talked about this before the game a little bit, that we both felt like it was going to take a little bit more Josh Dobbs than normal.
How about Juwan Jennings taking a wildcat snap here? Dobbs split out left side of the formation, and Jennings will take off. So Juwan Jennings in Tennessee picking up the first down, giving Kentucky a taste of its own wildcat medicine.
Yeah, former high school quarterback, and I've been impressed with his ability to make the transition from quarterback to receiver and have the type of dominance that he's had the last couple of seasons.
He is salty. He's one of the toughest competitors on the team, according to the coaches. Dobbs back behind center. Bird bubbles out to the left. Dobbs looking right, deep down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Trying to find Jennings, who, of course, had the game winner to close it out against Georgia. A wild affair that the Volunteers played down in Athens.
He has really impressed the coaching staff this year. You talked about Jennings brings great energy each and every single day. Athletic family, too. His sister, Alexis, basketball player at South Carolina.
Kentucky saw something they didn't like, and they got to use a timeout. Chris Westry may be injured.
They could ill afford to lose him.
Tom, I've watched him on the previous 3 plays. On first down, the first play of this drive, Westry was the boundary corner to the far side. He fell down, basically collapsed before the snap, was grabbing a hamstring, walked around, tried to cover through the next few plays. I think he's probably cramping up, grabbing that hamstring, walking around.
So it was an injury timeout, not a charge timeout. Thank you, Cole. And Dobbs gets folded in half by Adrian Middleton and friends. It's a loss of 1. Look at the 24-yard line. There's Westry, number 21.
It's right before the plate. Then the following play, there's Westry again trying to get out of the game and has to go down a second time.
And I think that second time he saw how close the snap was to happening. Didn't want him to get caught with 12, so he just dropped and got the injury timeout.
He was lucky he got the first one.
Kamara and Kelly flank Dobbs. He wants to throw. Pocket collapsing. Dobbs will get flagged for intentional grounding as he was in the grasp of Denzel Ware.
We talked about it at the top. Drew Richmond, redshirt freshman, struggled early in the year. The matchup to watch for was Ware and McGinnis working that against that left side where Drew Richmond resides.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 11. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Also includes a loss of down. 4th down.
It's a loss of down and a loss of 20 yards. Andre, walk us through your thinking as a quarterback here. What's the option?
Well, this is just a speed rush. This is when you have to just eat it right here. Just eat the football, take the sack, avoid the penalty.
Well, he's lucky he didn't fumble it because when Ware first got to him, it was loose.
Once you get it back, now it's just eat it, take the sack, punt, and play defense and save the additional yardage.
Walker asked for a fair catch here, and after muffing the first one, he hauls it in at the 38, a 46-yard punt from Trevor Daniel. A lot happening in the first 8 minutes of this one.
Really wasn't a heck of a pass rush move by Ware. It's just speed rush around the end, dip your shoulder, and he was able to beat Drew Richmond to Joshua Dobbs.
The offensive line has been the bane of Butch Jones' existence since he got here. Derek Dooley had 2 recruiting classes where he brought in a grand total of 2 offensive linemen total, one where they didn't sign any. So that put Tennessee behind the 8 ball big time. The injuries that have compiled year after year haven't helped. Remember, they started 2 freshmen on the O-line last year against Alabama. They should have been red-shirted, but they had to take those red shirts off. Straight ahead and not much doing for Boom Williams, who finds a pair. Todd Kelly Jr. the stop along with Kendall Vickers.
And I know Cole likes John Toth. Cole, what do you like about big John Toth right there in the middle of Kentucky's offensive line?
The first thing is leverage, Andre. He's a guy who understands how to get his hands in the middle of defenders' pads, but he stays low, and that's what he gets his drive from, and that's how he gets pushed along that Kentucky offensive line. He's not the most athletic kid you'll see at center, but I think he fights, he understands leverage, understands the position, played it for a long time, and does an excellent job with his hands.
Well, Kentucky came out in the Wildcat for the second time, and they have to use a timeout for some reason. They were having some substitution issues on the far sideline with Dorian Baker. 2nd and 8 when we return to Neyland Stadium in a wild start to this rivalry game.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
We gotta have great focus in here today. Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good. what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want. Let's go.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
It's a very, very good football team coming in here with a lot at stake, just like us.
We got to go out there with a chip on our shoulder, regardless of who it is. But, you know, when it's somebody like that, you want to go out there and you want to just pound them.
We just know we need to play our best because we know they're going to bring their ass.
We know those guys are going to protect their home field, so we have to come ready to play.
On the banks of the Tennessee River here at Neyland Stadium in this 112th meeting between Kentucky and Tennessee. Vols have won 30 of the last 31. You go back to 1984, the last time Kentucky won here in this stadium. There were some legendary games between these two teams and pranks as well. They used to play for the beer barrel. That trophy retired in the late 90s. In 1953, Tennessee students stole the barrel, so Kentucky students stole Smokey. They worked out a trade later.
Did Smokey eat well during that time?
Out of the Wildcat on 2nd and 8. Loss of 1.
Yeah, this is what Eddie Grant told me he wanted to go to early, the offensive coordinator for Kentucky. A couple of runs and then get right into the Wildcat early, and then they would take some shots down the field. 3rd down and about 9. For him to push it down the field, and watch this guy down here go to work. Badette, deep play extraordinaire.
Well, he's matched up with a great cover corner in Cameron Sutton. They show corner blitz again. Here comes Galden. He's picked up by Williams. And they're able to complete it to Badette. Jeff Badette with a gain of 15.
Nice route runner. Not only does he have the speed to get deep, but he can run routes. He got Cam Sutton, as you mentioned, one of the best corners, cover corners in the SEC. Got him turned around, open. That is wide open in the SEC. Nice job there by Jeff Badette.
So Kentucky into Tennessee territory again. Benny Snell picks up 2. Cole, what happened with Chris Westry?
The Kentucky cornerback down on the field. Trainers evaluating. They've got ice on his left ankle. Say he may have rolled it up in the turf. Reason he went down, probably just knowing he couldn't go and to get himself out of the football game. He has been testing it out, running back and down on the sideline. They expect him to give it a go later this game.
They have to get that ice pack off to do so, and that's not a good sign. Not a whole lot of depth in Kentucky's secondary.
Well, you got a slot receiver wide open. Just give him the ball. Look at the depth by the defender. Now finally creeping up, but they'll take advantage of those.
Kentucky unbalanced left. They go that way, and it's a big gain for Benny Snell Jr. Finally taken down by Todd Kelly. It's a gain of 28.
And the helmet of Todd Kelly comes off. He's got to step out for a play. A nice job of blocking by Cole Mosier. Watch him crash everything down inside. And then there, now it's just second level into the 3rd level of the defense for Benny Snell. This is going to be an outstanding football player at Kentucky for quite some time. Just a true freshman.
They've got Nick Haynes lined up at that left side, unbalanced left again for this Kentucky offensive line with Landon Young in at tackle. Trying to go that way. Benny Snell dragging guys with him. He took Micah Abernathy for 2 yards.
What you like about this drive, though, if you're a Kentucky fan, is taking advantage of field position. The big sack by Denzel Ware on Joshua Dobbs on the grounding penalty. That forced them back, and then you start your drive with excellent field position, and you're able to take care of it where you're going to turn it in to at the very least 3 points here.
Johnson will roll, looks back left. He's got his tight end, but too much for C.J. Conrad.
When Derek Barnett with the pressure on Steven Johnson forced him to throw that one early. Otherwise, he's got Conrad open, and he had a chance to get him into the end zone, but the forced throw, the early forced throw, by Derek Barnett disrupted the timing.
Trying to get away from number 9 is like trying to outrun a radio.
You can't do it. You can't. You cannot outrun a radio. How many times have I told you that? You can speed all you want, but the radio will catch you.
3rd and 8. Johnson, end zone, way high for Badet. And they'll bring on the kicking team.
Boy, he took another shot from Corey Vereen, the other defensive end, opposite Barnett. Both have started every game this year. Bunch of injuries for Tennessee, but those two bookends have been there every Saturday. This is Barnett. The previous play takes a big shot when Johnson was looking for Conrad. And here's the last play. Vereen at the end of that one. Got to protect the quarterback.
Austin McGinnis on to attempt a 32-yarder. He hit 4 field goals in the win against Mississippi State, including a game winner from 51. And they'll stop play before he gets a kickoff. Flag down. And that's going to back him up.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And McGinnis, he's good from about 50 to 54 yards. Very comfortable with him. He's long of 51 this year.
And that was the game winner against Mississippi State. Had an opportunity late against Georgia in a primetime loss against the Bulldogs. So from 37 here, to give Kentucky its 2nd lead of the game. And it's good. So Kentucky, which scored after just 2 plays on its opening drive, able to put together a 9-play drive there to cover 42 yards. A lot of scoring here. Still 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Tom Hart alongside Heisman winner Andre Ware. You got to wonder the psyche of both of these teams. Every big play, is it just a moment or is it a movement? And what I mean by that is which team will crash, because there's a lot on the line for both, and a Tennessee team that came in preseason top 10.
That's the pleasure in watching the chess match of Kentucky versus Tennessee. Who's going to make the first major mistake? Right now, it's the Joshua Dobbs sack or giving up the sack. That changed the field position and allowed Kentucky to go down, do what they were supposed to do, which was to get points.
And before that, Stephen Johnson's 75-yard run to basically open the scoring for Kentucky. Mark Stoops in his program, since he's been in Lexington, they have struggled when the temperatures got chilly. 2-12 in November, 0-10 in SEC play, but they're following a different format this year.
Yeah,
they lost too early, and then they caught fire.
Talked about as well challenging his team during the offseason, working harder, longer, and then in winter workouts, the same thing. Then when they got to summer camp, hey, I need you to work harder, longer, so that we're a stronger football team at the end of the season in November and December.
Meanwhile, for Butch Jones, he said he doesn't listen to the outside noise. They've gotten better each and every year since he's been here at Knoxville, now in his 4th season. They could still end up being a 9-win team. They could still make it to Atlanta. They need to win today. Both teams need a victory today if they want to make it to the SEC championship game.
And Tom, I think it's going to take 60 minutes from Tennessee, from both these teams, because Kentucky, they're not going to go away.
Kentucky could have been in first place all by their lonesome if they would have knocked off Georgia last week in Lexington. So Kentucky needs to win today and have Florida lose to South Carolina and LSU. Tennessee can be there by winning their last 3. They've got Missouri next week and then close with Vandy and have Florida lose only one of those, or beat Kentucky, win one of the remaining 2 against Missouri or Vandy, and have Florida lose those last 2, along with a Georgia win, a Vandy loss, blah, blah, blah.
Just
you got to win today.
Just go win.
Yep.
You know, all of that is fine, but just go win the football game. Everything else takes care of itself.
It'll all be in the paper tomorrow if you get a win today. Deep ball to Ethan Wolf, the tight end. Josh Dobbs once again finding holes against the Kentucky zone. It goes for 20.
Watch the block of the center, Coleman Thomas, pick up the late blitzer. Watch 55, is actually the right guard right there. Watch him pick up this late blitzer. Surveys things. That gives Dobbs the time to locate his receiver down the field.
Oh, now you're talking Cole's language. And now they're running behind that line, and John Kelly able to take it into Kentucky territory. Nearly a first down.
Yeah, this is excellent work by Coleman Thomas. Watch him survey. He doesn't have a defender over him. He surveys, sees the late blitzer, picks him off, And then that allows Dobbs to still remain and keep his eyes down the field.
On second and short, Kelly bounces to the outside, threw one ankle tackle, and then threw a couple arm tackles for a fresh set of downs. Courtney Love finally shoves him out after a gain of 10. 19 yards the last 2 carries for John Kelly.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet John Kelly yesterday around lunchtime, and you could just see the energy. He plays with it. He's kind of contagious, has that smile that just draws everybody to him. He's a good teammate.
He's from Detroit City, out of Oak Park High School. Dobbs high steps his way to the numbers. Inside the 20. He's got a block. Josh Dobbs out at the 1-yard line. What an effort by the quarterback out of Atlanta. 35-yard run.
Got a volunteer down, but what an effort by the senior Joshua Dobbs, trying to get airborne and get into the end zone. That is close. I have to take a look at this because he goes airborne.
2 injured players, by the way, as you look at Dobbs again. Dylan Weissman, the center for Tennessee.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was the runner was short of the goal line.
Meanwhile, Derek Beatty is down for Kentucky still. He would be their second starting corner to lead this game.
I think that's a touchdown. Ball is extended. He gets in the air. Foot is clearly in bounds. He's extending the football back. He's got to do his touch.
Pylon extends northward as far as it can go, so that's what he's trying to do, is get the ball just over the pylon.
I think that's 6 points. But with that effort, Dylan Weissman down, and Tennessee could ill afford to lose any more players on the offensive line.
The ruling was out of bounds, so it must be indisputable video evidence to overturn that. That's Weissman being helped to his feet. David Smith, our referee today. John Bible, our replay official. Extra sets of eyes from the video center in Birmingham, no doubt, watching this one as well.
I think that ball just goes over the pylon, clearly in bounds, and then as he extends right there at the very end of it. Close call.
He's not out of bounds till the body touches, and the goal line extends. The pylon extends.
The lead, he may have the lead.
Elsewhere down in Gainesville, Florida just picked up a first down. They lead 7-0 over South Carolina. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. I think the sense of urgency from Josh Dobbs is something that is very much appreciated by this Tennessee fan base, knowing what's on the line today.
When you played in as many close games as he has during his career, and certainly this year, and they've been able to pull out a few. I mean, you know when you have to make plays for your offense.
He has 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in his career, 3 this year. It started early against Appalachian State in the opener.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
So, no touchdown, but Tennessee looking at a 1st and goal from the 1.
Oh, what an athlete.
And they're going to have to shuffle that entire offensive line. Coleman Thomas is going to move to center now. And for Tennessee, Brett Kendrick enters at right tackle. John Kelly is the running back. Kelly dives.
Just short.
Well, that takeoff point was a little deep. It's almost like he hesitated getting up to where he was going to leap from.
See him here. Yeah, he just kind of hesitates before he gets airborne, and then you're jumping into the middle. I think had he gone right, he may have found his way into the end zone. Try to hurry up and get a play called here and catch Kentucky out of position.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was the runner was short of the goal line.
new right side of the offensive line, by the way, for Tennessee. Jack Jones is taken over at right guard and Kendrick at right tackle, and he's playing with a thumb in a cast.
Jones has been just beaten up most of the year. I think this is clearly short.
Well, the question is, when is he down? And I don't know if you can say.
Find the football in there.
Find the football and tell me when his knee is down, because he's on a pile of bodies. I certainly don't see how you could find indisputable video evidence from the angles we just showed.
No doubt about it.
He may not be down there, but we can't.
You can't find the football.
Yeah, we can't find the football anywhere.
It doesn't prove it. So you're gonna line up here on second down and go back at it again. Well, but what an answer by Tennessee.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Hey, Cole, let me ask you. Coleman Thomas moves from right tackle to center in this game. He has experience there, but what's the biggest challenge for him making that change in game?
Getting the football back, getting it depth, because if you noticed, Josh Dobbs came under center on that play. You have to get lower as a center in goal line. You're going to come off lower. The ball does not get as deep on your rear end. Josh Dobbs has to make sure he gets further underneath to accept that football.
Now they'll operate out of the shotgun on second and goal. Dobbs hesitates going right. He's into the checkerboard for a Tennessee score and the first lead of the day for the Volunteers.
What a nice block by John Kelly. Unselfish player helping Joshua Dobbs into the end zone. Watch number 4 go to work. You see right here, nice lead block. Just picks off a defender to that side. Allowed Josh Dobbs to turn up. It was Courtney McGinn as the defensive end. How many times have you seen that? A 5'9", 212-pound running back take on a guy just under 290 pounds and open things up for a touchdown run.
Another high snap handled by Henry. That one is a little bit lower than the last one from Lovingood. But the extra point's good from Aaron Medley. So Josh Dobbs able to take it in for his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. Take a look at Playing with Style, brought to you by Belt.
We'll start with the Kelly run, just refusing to go down. 2 tackles broken, a third and a fourth before he gets out of bounds. And how about Joshua Dobbs? Said he had to make some plays both in the air and with his legs. Well, he's done that here in the first half. In the block by Kelly, getting his quarterback into the end zone to cap the drive. That's good work.
Josh Dobbs has had a couple of long runs today, one for 41 and one for 35. So you see already responsible for 2 touchdowns, and he is carrying this team, and we're not yet out of the first quarter. Wow. Burdette able to recover, and he gets tripped up at the 20 and took a shot there out to the 21. 14-10 here in Knoxville. Peter Burns, what's going on in Gainesville?
Well, I can tell you what's going on in Gainesville, but I'm going to tell you what's going on in Tuscaloosa, Tom Hart. Ardarius Stewart, 67 yards to the house. Tide looked like they got off to a decent start there, and it's 7-0 Gators in Gainesville, Tom.
All right. Well, here these 2 teams trying to win the East. Florida with a 7-0 lead on South Carolina, and an injured player is Jeff Burdette, a guy they can't afford to lose if you're Kentucky.
You need guys on special teams for, I think it's one of the most important parts of the 3 components of a football game. Offense, defense, and special teams might be even more important. So you're trying to have one of your better players carry the football and play on special teams, but it is every bit the gamble.
Boy, injuries piling up for both sides at this point as Burdette gets looked at. And a moment ago, Tennessee's starting center Dylan Wiseman was helped back to the locker room. The senior out of Colerain High School in Cincinnati. You can see his right foot behind that graphic. No sock, no shoe. Taking a look at that when they take him back into the locker room here at Neyland Stadium. We've had this discussion. I mean, Jalen Reeves may have been talking about starters on special teams.
Yeah.
He got injured on a punt coverage team for Tennessee earlier this season. Ralph Webb, Vandy's most valuable player without argument, plays on the punt coverage team for Derek Mason.
and wants to do it, willing to do it.
Johnson pulls it back from Boom Williams, has another big opportunity. He slid, and he took a shot from behind.
Yeah, there comes the late hit.
The defender in front of him bailed off, but not the one behind him.
Yeah, and you just got to pull up as soon as a quarterback. This is a new rule this year. If he gives himself up, you can't touch him. Certainly, it's Elliott Berry that comes in late from behind. Once he goes feet first, you have to pull up as a defender.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 41 on the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's a 5th Tennessee penalty in the first quarter.
Yeah, how about the football that we're seeing right now? We're not even out of the first quarter yet. Two teams refusing to flinch. You score, I'm going to go score. You score again, I'm going to move the football some more, put myself in a position to get points. What nice back and forth between these two football teams so far.
But with the injuries, it may be a war of attrition by the time we're done here in Knoxville. LaTroy Lewis in on the defensive line for Tennessee. They're trying to go deep into that bench. Boom Williams running right off the hip of his tight end Greg Hart picks up 11 yards and a first down.
Oh, and that's the soft spot of the defense. Kentucky with a running game, able to find it, kick outside, and Boom Williams is tough to bring down. Not a big back at 5'9", 196, but boy is he tough because he runs with such a low center of gravity.
19 for a career high 182 against Missouri. Nick Haynes is in the backfield, the offensive lineman for Kentucky. And they're going to give it up to Boom again. So they're using Nick Haynes, a junior from Niceville, Florida, 6'3", 316. They've used him as a tight end in the extended tackle, and they've gone off balance left, and now they use him as a fullback.
Just anything to get the extra blocker on the field. Saw a little bit of this against Missouri a couple of weeks ago, where they bring in a 6th offensive lineman to try to run the football, let it tick down and get us into the second quarter. But the patience of Boom Williams, tell you what, that's hard to teach to backs.
It's a must-win game for both of these programs, hoping to make it to Atlanta in the SEC championship game by representing the East. And so far, in this great rivalry game, the back and forth affair takes us to a 14-10 Tennessee lead.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But, Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. It's good to be in good hands.
I would say I lead by example. I like to work hard. I like to get after it. My parents have always just instilled in me to be the best that I can be. I've grew up around real estate. My mom's been doing it for 25 years, and I did an internship this summer. Football has prepared me for it in all aspects. Most people don't have the chance to lead 125 guys, and I have the opportunity to. I had a great learning experience, and it's really put me in a great position for Afro football.
Dry mouth can really affect how your mouth feels and how you feel. Discover Act Dry Mouth, specially formulated to soothe and moisturize your mouth, even freshen breath, so nothing holds you back. Act Dry Mouth, relief when you need it.
Ugh, heartburn at night is the worst. I'm done with it. I need to kick acid with Rolaids.
Rolaids Advanced goes to work instantly for powerful relief of your worst heartburn, bloating, and gas.
That's better.
Kick acid and gas with Rolaids Advanced.
Well, thanks so much for being here today. And it's
Coach looks great today.
Friendly faces out there.
Looks like Coach is having a tough time making the right style call, so he's bringing in an expert.
No.
Built for comfort.
After a series of questionable calls, what are the chances he can pull out a W?
He's got a great sense of style.
Gotta have great focus in here today.
Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good.
Do what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want. Let's go.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
Give me
on the SEC Network.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and this. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Good morning, guys. Breakfast is on me, so go nuts.
Look at the new host stepping up. Thank you so much.
Boy, you know breakfast is free, right?
Can't you just be thankful?
Be thankful.
Thanks.
Holiday Inn Express, proud sponsor of SEC Nation on SEC Network.
Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M, tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Not a good sign for Kentucky. Big play threat Jeff Badette, the junior from Orlando, limping back to the locker room. Cole tells us it's a hip pointer injury. It happened on this kick return. Watch the helmet go right into his right hip at the end of that return.
Hopefully they get him back.
Third Wildcat of the day. They've only have 1 yard from it thus far. Benny Snell Jr. will take the snap on 2nd and 4. Snell stumbled, and he's ridden down by Micah Abernathy. We're talking with Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee. Are you surprised the success Kentucky has had with their Wildcat? And he basically admitted, yeah, it's not that complicated, and they think they have a scheme to slow it down.
Yeah, and he also pointed to the fact that it's about 20% of Kentucky's offense in the last 4 games. And the way he's going to stop it, load the box and just play and live with man-to-man. If they get to the middle of the field, they hadn't shown very often that they'll let Benny Snell or Boom Williams throw the football.
They'll run a reverse out of it, and they run the reverse here. Now they want to throw with Johnson. Back to Snell and incomplete. So they dared him to throw. They got tricky, and all of that for nothing.
Tom, there are multiple options where Kentucky can throw the football out of this formation. I spoke to offensive coordinator Eddie Gran this morning, asking him about last week against Georgia. They had that reverse pass, similar not to the quarterback there. Benny Snell did throw one. He said, just keep an eye when we're in that Wildcat situation. We have multiple options, and we're probably going to dump them all out today.
Yeah, there would have been a big completion had not Kyle Phillips rushed the throw of Steven Johnson.
Tennessee loads the box again. Boom Williams trying to stretch it to the left side. Outruns Kirkland for the first down.
Just when they need a play, they seem to come up with it. And I'm going to credit Blake Bone for not throwing a block. As you'll watch at the end of this, if he throws the block, number 6 will come into your screen and just kind of lays off right there. Just kind of lays off. Actually, it's Ryan Timmons who just kind of lays off, and that allowed Boom Williams. He saw he was going to turn the corner, pick up the first down, and continue the block, because I guarantee you would have got a holding call.
Able to spin Rashawn Golden around enough to pick up a few more yards. Benny Snell inside the 10. He's only a freshman. 5'11", 220. Gain of 8.
Tough to bring down. Just a big bruising runner. Brought along slowly early in the season because the staff just wanted to be sure he could protect the quarterback, and once he proved he could, they just turned him loose, and boy, are they getting some production out of Benny Snell.
Came in 7th in the SEC with 86 yards a game. His backfield mate Boom Williams 4th in the league, 100 yards a game. They faked the jet sweep. Snell able to pick up maybe the first down, about 2 yards that time. Kendall Vickers with the tackle. You see guys run behind Benny Snell. It's almost as if they don't respect his speed, or he's a little bit quicker than they initially expect.
Well, you think he's just kind of plugging along, and before you know it, he's into your chest and trucking guys. So, and he's hard to bring down. Built kind of similar at 5'11", 220 to Boom Williams. Both guys run with that low center of gravity. They're just tough to tackle.
3rd down 1. Play clock at 4.
Wide open up top.
And Kentucky has to use a timeout. Trying to run the Wildcat again. They tried to run it late in the game against Georgia.
Kentucky.
And Snell and company came up short. Before, in a very similar situation, they went to a fade route. After the Mark Stoops timeout, Kentucky looking at a 3rd and 1, looking to reclaim the lead.
Scrambled eggs, sausage, pancakes. I just can't make up my mind.
Of all the times to not have an opinion.
Who are you, and what have you done with Paul Feinbaum?
This could take a while.
I'm hungry.
Holiday Inn Express, proud sponsor of SEC Nation on SEC Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and this. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC.
What average underwear feels like. What Duluth Trading Buck Naked underwear feels like. Duluth Trading Buck Naked underwear feels like wearing nothing at all. No pinch, no stink, no sweat. Get a pair only at DuluthTrading.com.
Hey, you want affordable auto insurance from a company that provides great customer service? Check out The General.
At The General, monthly payments are low, and you can get immediate online proof of insurance.
Get your anonymous online quote with low payments and ride with The General.
Perfect. Now let's do the free throws. For a great low rate you can get online, go to The General and save some time.
Studio update. I know that Tennessee fans are looking at what's happening down in Florida. And Austin Appleby, second touchdown of the day, finds them all Fullwood. They'll add an extra point. Gators up 14-0 over South Carolina. All right, Peter, thank you. It's not just Tennessee fans. Certainly Kentucky fans have a rooting interest in that one. And Austin Appleby off to an 11 of 12 start with 2 touchdowns. Kentucky can't make it to Atlanta with a Florida win today. Benny Snell out of the Wildcat. And he gets through that hole for a first down. It's the same thing, Andre. There was a defender there, and somehow they can't get a hat on him before he gains a couple.
It's just so tough to bring down 8 men in the box. Look at it. 8 defenders in the box. Should favor the defense. You see you got a free Micah Abernathy, the safety free defender there. Still can't bring down Benny Snell before he picks up the first down.
So they're going to stick with it. One time against Missouri, they ran the Wildcat on 7 consecutive plays. Here's the 10th play of this drive.
They're even trying to cheat the corner down inside to help out and run support.
Big blocking up front. Snell lowers his head and is able to make it inside the 5 to the 4. So let me ask you this. Is there a way out of the Wildcat to get him to the perimeter, or is it always going to be between tackles?
No, well, until you stop it, you don't change it. You know, you force Tennessee to put themselves out of position by trying to stop you from running between the tackles. I don't change a thing if I can get yardage between the tackles. Now, when they slide inside and they take away the inside run, that's when you go outside out of the Wildcat.
This will be the 6th Wildcat play out of this drive out of 10. Snell to the goal line, and he is stopped just short, and that's going to set up 3rd and 1.
Well, what's amazing about Snell, every time he gets hit, he's still getting yardage after contact. I mean, moving the pile. He engages a defender, he's going forward. A couple of yards here and there, and that just adds up, and it's what we referred to when they were playing Missouri. That slow bleed, tough way defensively to get beat.
They go away from the Wildcat here. 3rd and goal. Snell tripped up in the backfield. Big time play by Corey Vereen, who was able to beat his man George Asafo Adjei and get in the backfield.
Vereen coming right off the edge. You see him, number 54, working against 60. Actually, he just pushes the right tackle back in the backfield and trips up Snell. Otherwise, Snell's going to get in the end zone.
Kentucky's going to bring on the kicking team to make this a one-point game. It'll be a 20-yard chip shot for Austin McGinnis. It'll be his first attempt from inside the 20 this season. Outside of extra points, he is 29 of 30 on extra points, and delay a game will back him up.
5 yards, still 4th down.
So you could have had 4th and goal from inside the 1. Do you like the idea to bring on the kicking team?
Yeah, in this situation, when you lose yardage like that, absolutely.
No, I mean before they lost the yardage.
No
4th
doubt.
and goal from the 1.
I think you still go for it there. The way they've been running the football, and it was his own man that tripped him up. It wasn't Tennessee making a stop. I thought Vereen, as you did, had made a heck of a play.
Austin McGinnis from 25. Good. And we've got a one-point game. That was a 12-play, 72-yard drive. Kentucky gets 3 out of it.
I'm Nick. That's my brother Brett. We make Johnsonville sausage every day. 100% premium pork, no fillers.
That's right, no fillers. We're heading to SEC country to earn our fans one bite at a time.
So get fired up for game day made the Johnsonville way.
At Holiday Inn Express, we've got the best breakfast to keep these young boys playing like the pros. Hey, go Pythons!
We're the Cobras.
That's the spirit. Hey, huh?
You don't put lighter fluid on a guy's grill, do you? He's about to set himself on fire.
Freaky fast. Jimmy John's.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and this. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
SEC Network Football is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. Get game ready with late breakfast and noon checkout. Snoozapalooza, now through December 18th.
Well, this series may be one-sided, but it's seen some thrillers in 07. 4 overtime win for Eric Ainge in Tennessee. He found Quentin Hancock with a pass. Derek Locke with a touchdown run, but then Andre Woodson and company came up short, going for 2. 102 combined points in that one. Reminds you a little bit of when Peyton and Tim Couch went head-to-head, threw for nearly 1,000 yards in that win. That was a game in Lexington for Peyton and company. Set a school record for yardage that has since been broken.
Been some close ones, close matchups, and look at that score. Another one today.
It was a 7-minute scoring drive for Kentucky that ended with the field goal. Tyler Bird back to return this one. From the 5, it's Jeff Malone. Out to the 21 for Josh Malone. College football continues today at 3:30 on the SEC Network. We've got Vandy and Missouri up next from Thoreau Field. And then tonight, Ole Miss versus A&M in primetime. SEC College Football all day today on the SEC Network. The legend, Brent Musburger, is going to call the first half by himself from the booth. Jesse's going to be down on the sideline to the tip of the cap to Vince Scully as Musburger is honored with the Vince Scully Award at Fordham University.
Sweet. And
Shea Patterson is taking his red shirt off today. What do you think of that?
He's trying to get to bowl eligible, and when you get Chad Kelly hurt, they're one with the next best option. I tell you what, he can play. We were there. I watched him work, and the young man can spin it.
Alvin Kamara left side, out to the 24-yard line before Mike Edwards brings him down. He'd be the second freshman quarterback to have his red shirt removed in the SEC in the second half of the season. Will Muschamp did that with Jake Bentley. It looks like that will get South Carolina to a bowl. Ole Miss is right there in the thick.
It was like 2-3 weeks ago, though, when Jake Bentley had his removed. This is way late for Shea Patterson.
On 2nd and 6, Dobbs will keep it. And Dobbs gets taken down before he can get to the line of scrimmage by Denzel Ware. Was that a busted play or a misread?
It just looked like penetration by Kentucky. It got so congested there that, you remember, Tennessee having to work behind a remade offensive line. It was a 6th one to start the game, and they've had to adjust in game.
Jack Jones at right guard. Coleman Thomas now at center. After Dylan Weissman left, Weissman is back out of the locker room with his shoe on, but walking gingerly. Dobbs looking left, back towards Malone over the middle. Great leaping grab and a Tennessee first down. Malone stayed on his feet, taking it past the 40 for a gain of 18.
Oh, he's just so smooth. Excellent hands. Solid after the catch, and they were trying to run him on a crossing route, and Josh Dobbs just waits it out. See the eyes left. He knows that Malone's coming. There's a nice ball to him, and always does something with it after the catch.
Dobbs pumps Malone, wants him to go deep, uncorks one down the sideline. Incomplete. Coverage downfield by Jordan Griffin, the freshman from Jonesboro, Georgia, who's in for the injured Derek Beatty.
Yeah, had some help over the top from Mike Edwards, and I think Malone didn't think he was going to get the ball. He tried to double move the corner to that side and just really kind of stopped running on the play. Didn't think Dobbs would have enough to get him the football.
Looking for the screen. Here's Tyler Bird, breaks a tackle, has a block. Tyler Bird down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds by J.D. Harmon.
Well, that is a lesson for all defensive backs that have to play that little hitch screen outside. Mike Edwards, come up under control and make that tackle. You're coming up full speed, and he sidesteps you. Now it's a foot race to the end zone. You've got to come up, break down, and make sure you make that play.
Dobbs up the middle. Cut down after a gain of 3 by Eli Brown.
Oh, we were talking during the break that was a small win for Tennessee to just hold to a field goal. Now it flips itself on its head, and it would be the same after the big play by Bird for Kentucky to just hold to a field goal attempt.
Which going to hydrate here, 2nd and 7 with John Kelly in the game. Dobbs pulls it back, end zone shot, caught, Wolf, touchdown Tennessee.
When you can run the football the way Tennessee can with both Dobbs and Kelly, it forces the linebackers to take just a false step up, and you saw it there with 51 Courtney Love. He takes a false step up. Now all of a sudden it gives Wolf, the tight end, time to get behind him. That was just a well-thrown football to beat coverage.
Kentucky has been susceptible to the big play all season. And on each Tennessee scoring drive thus far today, they've given up a big play. A Dobbs run of 41 on the first one. A Dobbs run of 35 yards in the second touchdown. And then the bird screen that went for 44 yards is set up this right into your living room. Ethan Wolf with his second catch of the day, and Tennessee extends its lead.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this?
Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check. Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
Okay, let's try.
Silence. It's good to be in good hands.
Please bow your heads. And I'm just grateful that we can all be here in this moment.
I'm thankful for my family and that they care about me.
We're another year older. We've been through a lot of trauma.
No matter what color we are, no matter what uniform we got on, you guys are my family.
Nothing more important than family today. It's good to be together.
Let's enjoy.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money correctly can be tough, especially for college students. That's why we sometimes bring in some extra help.
Young lady, you are way too smart to hit that order button. $750 on a dress that'll be out of style by next week? And what? You might wear it 2, 3 times tops?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I probably am right.
Regions, official bank of the SEC.
We gotta have great focus in here today.
Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good.
Do what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want.
Let's go.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
This college football season, you can stream every game live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com today. And coming up at the half, you can watch the live performance of the Pride of the Southland Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. No chance for a return for Kentucky. And J.D. Harmon, here's what Tennessee's been able to accomplish in the red zone today. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Kentucky has settled for field goals on 2 of their 3 trips.
Yeah, really been the story for Kentucky the last couple of weeks. Against Georgia last week, a couple of trips into the red zone, having to settle for field goals as opposed to scoring touchdowns. And once again, rearing its head here this afternoon against Tennessee.
Tennessee takes their nickel back. Rashawn Golden off the field here on this first down play based on Kentucky's personnel. Instead, they bring Kenny Bynum in as an extra linebacker. Johnson down the sideline, and that is caught. Great footwork by Blake Bone.
Tell you what, nice throw by Steven Johnson. Cover 2 with the corner and the safety, and that's got to be a drill shot right there. You see him put the ball on the line between the safety and the corner. That's good work. Well executed by Steven Johnson.
First catch of the day for Bone. Only his 3rd catch of the season. Here comes a blitz from the safety. Said they run it the opposite way for 3. Derek Barnett with the tackle.
Been able to answer with points after Tennessee scored, but at some point the lead just kind of starts to get out of hand when you're just kicking field goals.
Vols load the box again, 2nd and 7. Johnson will hand it off. And a yard there. Kenny Bynum, first one to make contact on Boom Williams.
And at some point, Tennessee's going to force Kentucky and Steven Johnson to pick the football up and throw it. And you see 7 in the box, creeping down a safety to get to an 8-man front. Just extra defenders for Tennessee. It's this look by Kentucky.
They bring Golden back on the field as the nickel. Play selection tilted heavily to the run for UK. 3rd and 6.
Here they come again.
Right up the middle with it. Johnson trying to elude pressure. Fires. Incomplete. Bone had his hand on it, but the coverage by Sutton, one of the reasons he couldn't bring it in.
Just wondering if Sutton even got a hand on it. It looked like Bone just dropped it. He's got to keep coming back to the football to keep separation between the defender and the football, and that should have been a catch for a first down. See it here? Hits him right in the hands. It's not anything that Cam Sutton did. That was all on Blake Bone.
But now you can understand how much they missed Jeff Badet, who hasn't returned to the game after he got injured on a kick return. Josh Smith asked for the fair catch. We'll take it at the 17-yard line. 34-yard punt from Kentucky's Grant McKinnis.
Tea time, 6:30 a.m. I'll see you then.
It appears Coach Bielema might be about to switch things up because he lost big to the quarterback club ladies last week. Looks like the coach is making some much-needed adjustments to his gear.
Last week was no good.
Hopefully Belk can help fix his slice as well.
I am a Woo Pig golfing machine.
The slow-mo strut to the car, always a good look.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and this. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
With Custom Ink, you can design custom t-shirts and other great products for every occasion. From the first day of school to game day and everything in between. With the best collection of styles and graphics to choose from, it's easy to go online and create custom t-shirts and more for all of life's events. Get free shipping and on-time delivery, guaranteed. Go to customink.com to get started today.
Hey, Pop, thanks again for the space.
Space. We had a lot of it. Till our son and his wife decided to move to an apartment in the city. Our stuff, our kids' stuff, our second cousin's stuff. We're putting it all in a family storage unit. So now I can get back to business. 7 off the 3 off the 5.
Space for your world. Clean, well lit, and conveniently accessible. Click, call, or come by, and your first month's rent is just $1. Public Storage.
Josh Dobbs has never lost a game against Kentucky. He's 3-0 against Big Blue, and he's gotten Big Orange off to a great start here in the first half today.
Yeah, got us started with the touchdown pass to Josh Smith, a touchdown run, and then down tight end Ethan Wolf in the end zone as well, counting for 3 total touchdowns today, 126 through the air, 68 on the ground.
Well, Butch Jones has had some good quarterbacks. One of his former guys, Zach Caleros, who was his quarterback at Cincinnati, taking the Hamilton Tiger Cats into the Canadian League playoffs tomorrow, coming back from a torn ACL.
You were doing your research on the CFL.
I just watch the CFL nonstop. I can't get enough. I think you know that. Tight end Kroom was in motion. He'll hand off to Kamara. Stutter step, cutback, and he's got the hash marks. Alvin Kamara tripped up past midfield, and he'll take it for 40 yards in a Tennessee first down.
Well, Cole hit on it. Big plays. just being given up by this Kentucky defense. It's been their Achilles heel all season long, and it certainly has been in this ball game. And it seems like it's drive starters for Tennessee. A big play, and then they get going.
Kamara again got a monster game against Texas A&M. Tennessee's single game record in all-purpose yardage. This one went for 40.
Just watch the work. Big Coleman Thomas right in the middle of the formation, and he makes Blake McCain miss. And if not for a player on the back end, I think it's, see the number on the corner to that side, but Derek Beatty saving a touchdown run.
Denzel Ware.
He had the big sack early in the first quarter on Josh Dobbs. Ware in the middle of your screen trying to come down on Kamara. Not sure if I see it.
So he'll go to the training table. 2nd and 6 now. John Kelly in at tailback.
Maybe a false start.
False start, 75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
John Kelly gets swarmed. Pringle one of the first there along with Eli Brown. Pickup of 3. That'll set up 3rd and long.
Giving up big plays in the running game, and now Kentucky taking a page out of the playbook of Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee. They're giving up so many runs that now they're creeping 8 men in the box to help stop this running game of Tennessee.
And Jared Daniel in at defensive end for Denzel Ware, bottom of the formation for Kentucky. Dobbs looking for Malone on the crossing route. Can't get it to him, and he's taken down in the backfield by Josh Allen. 2nd sack of the day for Kentucky. That one costs Tennessee 14 yards.
Yes, now 6.5 sacks on the season for Josh Allen. Watch him from the left side of your screen, 41. He gets early pressure, and then they're going to finish it off is Josh Allen. You got Courtney Love, I think, is the early pressure, and then the other linebacker and Josh Allen will force a Tennessee punt here.
Charles Walker back to return this one from Trevor Daniel. And he takes a fair catch at the 18-yard line. 21-13 here. Let's check in with Peter Burns.
All right, thank you, Tom. Mark, coming up on the Cooper Tire halftime report. Tony Barnhart we'll talk about the Tide rolling and Gators looking to clinch. But what do you see down at Neyland right now?
Two teams with a sense of urgency. Kentucky wants it. Tennessee's got to have it.
Big stuff. It's a big stop for the Wildcats right there. We'll see if they can get a score before half. Back to you guys in Neyland.
All right, PB, thanks. Elsewhere down in Gainesville, Florida leading South Carolina 14-0 as they approach the half. Under a minute there. Kentucky needs Florida to lose each of its 2 remaining SEC games if the Cats want to make it to Atlanta.
They got to take care of things here first. Minute 59, put together a drive here, and we get some points going into the half.
Only one timeout remaining for Kentucky. And they're going to run it on 1st down. Williams.
Just trying to pop a big run to get the 2-minute drill started. But you'll see they're right to the football. Play should be called, or called here shortly, and then get right into it.
Unfortunately for Kentucky, they used 2 timeouts when they couldn't get the right formation and personnel on the field. So
they need to
only
hurry.
have 1 remaining.
Out of time running.
Johnson pressured, and he's dropped. Tennessee's first sack comes from Corey Vereen. Timeout Volunteers. They want to run this clock and get some scoring done before the half comes to an end.
Well, these two defensive ends, Barnett, you account for him. And all of a sudden, Corey Vereen is cutting himself loose. That's the big fella here, just right around the end. A nice speed rush, caught the tackle at the snap. Looking inside, big Kyle Meadows. He's looking inside at the snap and never really, he allows Vereen to get a jump on it. A little over-under and makes his way to Johnson.
Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking with former Kentucky assistant Kurt Roper, now the offensive coordinator for Will Muschamp at South Carolina. And he said, listen, everybody loves Barnett, and I do too, but number 50 in orange is something special.
Yep, no doubt. I mean, it's a senior on the other side opposite Barnett, and he's got a nice get off. That first step is as quick as any. And he showed it to Kyle Meadows, the right tackle, in that situation.
3rd and 13 here for Steven Johnson and company.
Now Vereen's 5th sack on the year. Now you see the head of Kyle Meadows. It's right out, scanning things, not looking inside.
Well, they missed Badette here. Instead, they go to a screen on the far sideline, and plenty of room to run for Kentucky. And they're able to pick up 18 yards on the first catch by Taven Richardson.
Yeah, and now you want to get back into it if you're Kentucky. Get to the line of scrimmage, get a play call. Let's get back in a 2-minute drill. Now it's to our advantage to try to go get points. Once you pick up the first down.
False start on the offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. First down.
Yeah, they just kind of looked out of sync after the first down run, and then giving up the sack on 2nd down, able to pick it up with Richardson on 3rd down. It just every play though seems to be out of sync if you're trying to hurry to go get points.
Four-man rush. Johnson over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Garrett Johnson, perhaps, nearest receiver to that ball.
Might have felt a little pressure that just wasn't there. Just step up into the pocket. We'll watch him here. He gets some pressure from the outside from Vereen, but he's got plenty of time. Just step up and make a nice throw. You're protected.
Big play here. Tennessee could get the ball back with plenty of time left in the half. On 2nd and 15. JoJo Kemp gets his first carry and finds 5. Butch Jones will use a timeout with 43 seconds left.
Timeout.
Trying to save Josh Dobbs any time to maybe go down and steal a field goal.
Timeout.
You know, Andre, your timing is perfect. Celebrating its 12th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
I like how he's used his timeouts to try to get that field goal. He says, I do. You can never score too many points in the first half of a football game. There's time, you're trying to score.
The long for Medley is 42. So they need a stop on 3rd down and in good field position on the punt. For a long time, Tennessee had 2 of the best returners in all of college football in Evan Berry and Cameron Sutton. Berry lost for the year. Sutton just returning today, but he hasn't been on the punt return team. 3rd down 9. Volunteers will drop 8. Johnson looking left. And it is incomplete. 39 seconds left in the half. Garrett Johnson, the intended receiver, and plenty of time left with 1 timeout for the Vols.
Got to help your quarterback on 3rd down. In 2 situations, consecutive drives. Blake Bone, the previous drive, had a 3rd and 8. Should have caught the football in there. It's Garrett Johnson Well-thrown passes in both situations should have been first downs.
Josh Smith stands at his 21. Grant McKinnis gets it away. Great hang time. And Smith with the fair catch. So from the 26-yard line, 32 seconds remain after a 39-yard punt. Triple header of college football on the SEC Network today. After we're finished here, we'll send you to Columbia, Missouri for O Field, where Barry Odom's Tigers look to snap an 11-game SEC losing streak. They've got Vandy in town. And then tonight, Brent Jesse and Kelly will be in College, Kaylee, pardon me, will be in College Station. Number 8, Texas A&M playing host to Ole Miss, playing without Chad Kelly. SEC college football all day on the SEC Network.
Let's just see if they dial up the playmaker here. They've got 2 in Juwan Jennings, but Josh Malone, where is he? Situation like this, ideal to get him the football.
Top of the formation at the numbers. Dobbs will take off on a quarterback draw with 1 timeout remaining. Dobbs is able to pick up the first down. Now stop the clock momentarily on a 12-yard run.
Yeah, now you get the set. You've got 2 plays called. They clock it here.
And they do. So 23 seconds remaining in the half. 1 timeout left.
I like the thinking today of Butch Jones and trying to manage time and maximize it to come up with more points.
Mike DeBoer, his offensive coordinator, up in the booth here at Neyland Stadium. Down the sideline for Jennings. It is taken away by Kentucky. Intercepted by Derek Beatty, and the Cats will have 17 seconds left.
The one thing you don't want to have happen is turn it over. Tries to squeeze it into cover 2. And in order for the corner not to turn and run, you have to give a flat threat in that situation. Well, there was none. And what does Beatty do? He turns and runs with a receiver, Juwan Jennings. You see only 1 receiver in that area of the field. There's no flat route, no running back leaking out to hold the corner. So therefore, the corner is going to turn and run with a receiver. It squeezes the throwing lane down with the corner and the safety help over the top. It's a tough throw. It should have never been thrown by the senior quarterback, Josh Dobbs.
12th interception from Dobbs on the season. 21st turnover for Tennessee's offense. No one has thrown more picks than Dobbs this year in the SEC. Tennessee shows blitz. Here they come. Johnson, incomplete. Steven Johnson only has 4 completions and 15 attempts in this first half for 64 yards.
And even though they're trying to score, he's got to be careful with the football as well. That you don't take a sack fumble or you throw a pick where a guy catches one and he's on the run here.
That's why Kentucky, it's going to be so tough for them to play from behind, especially with Badette. They're a ground-based offense without that deep threat from Badette. Hard off the edges, Barnett nearly got Johnson over the middle. Caught. First down to Ryan Timmons. 5 seconds left.
Got to take the timeout now if you're Mark Stoops.
Gain of 17, an injured player for Tennessee. They can wait on the timeout if they want.
They can now, and it looks like it may be Cam Sutton.
Kentucky does indeed take the timeout.
Kentucky.
And it's been pointed out to Mark Stoops. Hey, you got an injured player there. We could have waited. It's Cortez McDowell, backup Mike linebacker.
And not Cam Sutton. He has fought through plenty of injuries. Doesn't need me giving him another one. But watch the pressure on Steven Johnson. The edge rush, Vereen, Barnett. Nice job of stepping up, and then he just rifles one.
Game clock to 5 seconds. 0-5.
Right in the middle of the field to Timmons.
Mark Stoops is trying to campaign to get his timeout back right now. He's pointing out to the field saying they have an injured player. Why should I be charged a timeout? He started with the line judge, Jim Kelly, before moving on to David Smith. And now Eddie Grant is OC talking to him.
That maybe should have been communicated from upstairs. You know, the guys up here, the staff up here, they're all on headphones or headsets. We got an injured player, save the timeout, but they were so quick to call it.
And the clock was stopping with a first down, so the officials wouldn't have let the clock run anyway. They would have stopped it so McDowell could be helped. Watch Mark Stoops, and then right after he calls his timeout, somebody in his ear says, hey, you didn't have to do that, but they're just a little bit late. Stoops working with the line judge to get it. And then somebody on his staff afterwards saying, hey, we missed somebody. There was an injured player out there. Maybe you can get it back. Well, that's yesterday's paper. That's information would have been helpful before I called the timeout.
Traveling abroad, you get the day before's paper.
The day you on the time machine?
Yeah. 5
seconds to go here. Tennessee has 4 defenders back inside the 15-yard line. They'll bring 3 on the rush. Last play of the half, barring penalty. Johnson unloads one deep, going to be short of the end zone, and it is intercepted by Tennessee. So the Volunteers able to come down with it. It's Jawan Jennings, of all people, the wide receiver, who had a very similar catch in the end zone at Sanford Stadium against Georgia for a game winner, and now he ends the half with the pick. We'll hear from Cole with Butch Jones coming up in a moment. Our score at the half, 21-13. Tennessee in front in a must-win. Spike that one in the turnover barrel. Now Peter Burns in the Cooper Tire halftime report.
All right, thank you, Tom. Something about Jawan Jennings catching Hail Mary passes there for Tennessee. All right, coming up to Cooper Tire halftime report, it is Peter Burns and Mr. Tony Barnhart. We got a good game. 275 yards for Kentucky, 289 yards for Tennessee. Very evenly matched. What are you seeing so far?
Well, Tennessee's moving the ball fine. Here's what concerns me. Joshua Dobbs, yet another turnover right there before halftime. 21 turnovers for Tennessee this year, more than anybody in the world that I can think of. Tennessee's moving the ball, Peter, but they just can't give away plays like they did at the end.
For the Kentucky Wildcats as well, remember both of these two teams trying to vie for an SEC East berth in Atlanta, or SEC East or SEC championship berth. What are you seeing from the Kentucky Wildcats on that side of the ball?
Well, obviously, we know that with the young running back, Benny Snell, they're moving the ball, they're running the ball better than ever. But I tell you, the guy I'm impressed with is Steven Johnson. I mean, watch this play right here. And watch, there he goes, 75. Watch the safety, Todd Kelly Jr. right there. He freezes, and there Johnson goes, 75 yards. That sets up the touchdown play.
Well, the crazy part about it, too, both of the guys were open. Steven Johnson and Benny Snell were open on that play, and then, of course, Boom Williams takes it to that.
Boom Williams, Monroe, George Walton Academy, Monroe, Georgia, touchdown.
Right now, who do you give this to? Going into the second half, who's got the momentum?
I think Tennessee's got the momentum because, as we said at the other break, this is a game that Kentucky really, really wants to win. They could finish with a winning record in the conference for the first time since 1977. Tennessee's got to win. Tennessee's got 3 games left. They got to win them all to have any chance to get to Atlanta. I think Tennessee finds a way to get it done.
Amazing to see when Tennessee has won 30 out of these last 31 meetings between them and the Cats. For Coach Stoops, what is he telling his guys at half? And fairly competitive.
Just keep doing what you're doing. We have played in tough games all year long. We have found a way to win. They lost close to Georgia last week, but they have found a way to win the close games. Said, guys, keep hanging around, hang around. The longer we hang around, the more pressure that builds up on Tennessee, and we can win this thing at the end.
Right after half, Cole Kublik caught up with Coach Butch Jones.
Coach Jones, how do you feel about the decision-making of your quarterback in the first half?
Well, again, I thought he made some big plays for us. We obviously got to take care of the ball in a one-minute situation, but right now the whole key is we're forcing them to kick field goals in the red zone.
You've seen a lot of Wildcat from the Kentucky offense. How do you continue to have success in the second half?
Well, we just got to get 11 hands to the ball, and we got to keep our eye disciplined with the passes that come out of that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Another game going on right now down in the Swamp. Austin Appleby and other seniors honored on Senior Day in Gainesville. First quarter, Appleby finds Ciante Lewis for the touchdown. 7-0 Gators early.
Good start for the Gators. They had to get off and running against the Gamecocks.
Speaking of running, Jordan Scarlett, that's what he does. Takes the handoff, bounces it outside, 26-yard gain against Will Muschamp's team. Sets up first and goal. Appleby, though, that's the mistakes that they have.
A couple of turnovers for Appleby in the first half. You just cannot do that.
But you can go ahead and make it up real quick, right? Appleby, what a pass.
Nice
spot forward for the touchdown. Take another look. All you got to do is get one in college football.
And he got one in. He got the right one in.
That's all you need. 14-0. Antonio Callaway actually took one to the house, but it was called back because of offensive holding. So Florida up 14-0 at half over South Carolina.
Appleby 11 of 14 for 147 yards. That's a good start. Showed surprising speed when he was running the read option a little bit.
We always knew he was a running quarterback, right? Talking about rolling. My goodness. Alabama, #1 team in the country. Jalen Hurts hosting Mississippi State. Hurts, second and goal, finds Calvin Ridley. Lane Kiffin, that's too easy.
We thought they would throw it a little bit more working on this. Joe Test told us that before the game.
Ardarius Stewart, 63 yards. I don't want to shorten. 67 yards to the house.
Pulling away.
17-0, tied. First and goal for the four.
Watch it.
Looked like he was trying to find Garrett Dieter there, and Dieter just sets up the
This ain't fair. This ain't fair at all. What do you do?
That's a good question.
What do you do?
Nobody can figure it out right now. Alabama up 30-0 on the Mississippi State at home. Nick Saban with Holly Rowe at half.
Well, Coach Saban, you talked about wanting to develop your young quarterback as a passer, not have him run so much. How do you assess how he's done that in the first half?
Well, I think we've had a lot better balance on offense. I think he's played well. He prepared well this week. I think he's got a good understanding of what they're doing and done a nice job with it. I like the balance that we have on offense. Put the defense in a couple bad situations, but they came through. So you've got to play for 60 minutes against guys like these. These guys can score a lot of points.
I was going to ask you about that. You know, you were worried about this early start, about a team being complacent. So how do you get them motivated for a second half when it's a big score like this?
Well, I think you play to a standard, and I think that's what our guys have to understand, and we need to keep playing, and hopefully, you know, if we keep playing fast on offense, we can wear them down a little bit. They get the ball first, so, you know, we need to stop them on defense.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Are you still buying that he didn't know Tuesday was election day?
I ain't going there.
He was prepped, right?
I ain't going there.
You need to be prepped about today's division clinching scenarios. Right here in the West, Alabama needs a win, and looks like that's going to happen. And an Auburn loss of the Hedges at Georgia, and they'll clinch it. In the East, Florida needs a win over Jake Bentley in South Carolina, and plus a Vols loss to Kentucky. So that's how the East and West can go down.
And if you're the Gators, that's the scenario you want right there, because you got to go to LSU next week.
It'll be interesting to see for Alabama, too, up 30-0 at half. How much more do you think that we will see Jalen Hurts?
One possession at most.
Yeah.
Just get him in, get him out, let some other guys get some work done. But, no, you got to keep him fresh. And they got Chattanooga next week, okay? It's all about getting him ready for the Iron Bowl.
Careful for those moccasins, my friend. Just be careful for it. All right, a lot of stuff going on in football right now. Little Boom Williams to the house, 18. He's done that quite a few times for the Wildcats. 10 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. But they're down to 8 to the Vols at half.
This halftime report is presented by Cooper Tire. Visit CooperTire.com or a Cooper Tire dealer today.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Being a part of the Southeastern Conference, it means more than you might think. It means the heart of a home, the heart of campus, in the heart of town, in the heart of an entire state. It means A1 and A2. It means all together and all in the family. Whatever it is, here, it just means more.
Welcome back to the Cooper Tire Halftime Report.
It's a beautiful thing, right? The pageantry of college football. That is the pride of the Southland Marching Band. You can catch the entire halftime performance on SEC Network Plus. Our SEC Nation crew was down in Gainesville, and they're going to break down the rest of the SEC games on slate today.
SEC Nation here at the Plaza of the Americas. Maria Taylor, Tim Tebow, Marcus Spears, and Paul Feinbaum. We've got a pretty fun slate of SEC Week 11 games. So let's kind of run through them a little bit. And Ole Miss and Texas A&M, Tim, both teams without their starting QB.
Yeah, this is a really interesting battle. We'll find out what Shea Patterson's all about in this game. He was highly recruited, but we know that doesn't mean very much. But we get to see what he's all about in this game. But, man, I tell you what, he's got a tough deal. Going to Kyle Field, a night game against Myles Garrett, that's not easy.
Yeah, the 12th man is going to let him know a little something. Yes.
To the SEC.
But for you, Marcus, your alma mater, LSU, taking on Arkansas, the Tigers have lost the last 2 meetings against the Razorbacks. What do you see happening in this one?
Well, the mentality part is I think it's been made plain by Ed Orgeron that we're not going to allow Alabama to beat us 3 weeks in a row like that trend has started. But also this defense. Listen, a lot of people talked about them losing the game, Orgeron taking a step back. They were as good on defense as Alabama was, except for a couple plays in that game. And I think they rely on that today, how consistent they've been all year, and they figure out a way to get Leonard Fournette or Darius Geis in the end zone.
And, Paul, how about a cross-division rivalry? Auburn and Georgia, the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Auburn has been one of the best teams in the country the last couple of weeks, and Georgia is okay, but they're just not consistent. And they could win, sure. And tomorrow, everybody, if they do, everybody will say, "Wait, I knew they were going to win." No, nobody knows they're going to win. They just haven't played very well. So I think Auburn is in good shape in this game. Can't make mistakes. I think the running back situation is a little dicey. Sean White's a little dicey with injuries, but they should get through.
Yes, and Auburn still trying to stay alive in that SEC West conversation and potentially make a college football playoff berth for the very first time.
Georgia Bulldogs have won 8 out of the last 10 games against Auburn, Tony Barnhart. Something's going to have to give in this one.
Well, Auburn is the big key for Auburn today. I was there on Tuesday meeting with the coaches and the players. I think it's Cameron Petway. That leads the SEC in rushing. Came up limping last week against Vanderbilt with a hamstring. It doesn't look like he's going to play, and if he doesn't play, Kerryon Johnson's going to have to carry the load. I think that's the key for Auburn. It's all about having Cameron Petway ready for the Iron Bowl.
For the Georgia Bulldogs, seems like their offensive line just hasn't got going all year long, struggling with Jacob Eason and getting those guys running. How can they win this game?
Well, Georgia, the key to Georgia is they've got to be able to run the ball to set up Jacob Eason in the past. Go back to the game when Georgia beat Kentucky last week, had over 200 yards rushing. They got Nick Chubb and Sony Michel into the offense right away. That opens up the passing game for Eason. I just wonder if Georgia and their offensive line has been overpowered by Vanderbilt, been overpowered by Florida. Can they block this Auburn defensive line, which has played extremely well? They're only giving up 16 points a game.
We'll see if Auburn can win down in Athens, something they haven't done in over a decade. Another game coming up, Vandy at Mizzou. You got a couple of keys to this game. This is intriguing on certain levels.
Vanderbilt has been close all year long. 7 SEC losses by only 24 points. Number one, Kyle Shermer. Kyle Shermer, their young quarterback, he's been up and down all year, but last week against Auburn, he played really well, completing 24 of 36 passes. Probably the best game he's played, 15 passing first downs. The other part of the game is Ralph Webb. This is one of my favorite players in the SEC. Look for him to have a big, big day. He is just 184 yards short of Zach Stacy's record to become the all-time Vanderbilt rusher.
Remember, Missouri has lost their last 11 SEC games. All right, down in Knoxville, you know Mr. Dobbs coming off a good performance against Tennessee Tech. Solid start right there. 10 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. His Vols up 21-13 on the Cats at half.
There's a lot of performance hidden in these tires. These tires are insanely good. Selected as a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. If this is what experts thought about Cooper tires, imagine what you'll have to say. They're impressive on all surfaces. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top.
Down Tennessee.
Home sweet home to me.
Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
LSU, Arkansas. This game has been intriguing, Tony Barnhart, the last couple of years with the Hogs taking both of those victories.
Well, the Hogs taking both because LSU has had an Alabama hangover after both of those games. Will it happen again today?
Be interesting to see, too, Coach Ed Orgeron. First LSU road game for Coach O. How important is this for his chances or an opportunity for him to be named head coach for next year?
I just think it's critical. I mean, I don't think he gets the game if he beats Alabama last week, but I don't think you can follow that up with another loss to Arkansas. He wants to prove that LSU will not have an Alabama hangover under his direction. Arkansas playing really, really well after beating the Gators last week.
For Arkansas, 5th straight game versus a ranked opponent. Who do you like in this game? Because I know our SEC guys and our ESPN crew have gone both ways on it.
I like Arkansas. I think the fact that Austin Allen is back and pretty healthy again. Raleigh Williams III ran for $1.48 last week against the Gators. They're playing really, really well. They have bounced back from getting shellacked by Auburn and have found a certain toughness. I think that toughness is going to come out at home tonight.
We'll see Danny Etling versus Austin Allen in that game. For Ole Miss and A&M, the quarterback situation has been quite interesting.
Batted in the air and picked off in the end zone. Touchdown, Texas A&M, and that is Christian Kirk.
Just like we thought, right? Shea Patterson versus Jake Hubenek. Remember, Jack Kelly out for the rest of the year, will not take another snap for the Rebels. And then Trevor Knight, who is such a great guy for College State, or down in College Station, rather, Tony, not getting a chance to finish his season or regular season.
Yeah, and I really hate that for both of those guys who've been contributing to get hurt there at the end. But they're going to take the red shirt off of Shea Patterson, Peter.
Were you surprised? I think there was some shock for college football fans when they found out that Shea Patterson would have his red shirt pulled this late into the season.
Yeah, number 2 dual threat quarterback in the country last year from IMG Academy. Early in the week, Hugh Freeze said, man, that would really, really be tough. Then at the end of the week, he said, look, I want to give these seniors, who's left of this 2013 recruiting class, want to give them a chance to get to a bowl, and that's their reward. Got to win 2 of the last 3 for Ole Miss to get to that bowl.
Imagine what you just said. They have to win 2 out of 3 to get to a bowl game.
This team.
It's surreal. It's not only just Ole Miss. We're seeing it with Kentucky. We're seeing it with Tennessee,
Injuries.
with Florida. Injuries continue to mount up. For Texas A&M, how do they get past kind of this November slump? 3-7 in November over the last 2 seasons.
Peter, I really wonder how excited Texas A&M is going to be to play in this game. Let's face it, a week ago against Mississippi State, they were ranked number 4, had an outside shot at the playoffs, at worst 11-1, and going to the Sugar Bowl. Now all of that has disappeared. Can they get excited about playing this Ole Miss? Yeah, they can still finish 10-2, but the championships and all that stuff are out the window. They're 3-7 the last 2 or 3 years in November.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Ole Miss is one of the last 2 meetings between those 2 teams right now. All right, we talk about SEC football, but you know SEC hoops is going on as well. So happening right now, you're in the mood for a little hoops? Oh no, LSU down to Wofford. Johnny Jones, get it together. 2-0.
You don't mess with the Terriers out of Spartanburg. Let me tell you that right now.
That game available on SEC Network Plus. Remember, 9 of these 12 teams that opened up SEC basketball action won their opener. Tigers looking for a little bit of comeback. All right, a lot more football to get down to. Second half soon between Tennessee and Kentucky. Josh Dobbs, good touchdown pass there. 21-13, Vols Wildcats at half.
This halftime report is presented by Cooper Tire. Visit CooperTire.com or a Cooper Tire dealer today.
It takes hours of practice for a drumline to perfect its routine. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is just as precise, but only takes a few minutes, so you can get a custom mortgage solution without missing a beat. Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics. Rocket.
What I love most about teaching is a chance to interact with young people who are open to new ideas, who are hungry for new information.
Words can change lives. They can make people feel. They can make people act. I have grown in so many ways here at the University of Kentucky. I have shared a classroom with so many brilliant people here.
If you have the power to write, if you have the power to create art, the power to invent anything that's transformative, why wouldn't you?
LSU on the SEC Network.
There aren't many things in this world that are absolutely free without some kind of catch. Well, today, there is no catch. Warrior would like to introduce their new innovative golf club technology by giving you a sample absolutely free. No gimmicks, no purchase necessary, over a $200 retail value. Free. Warrior makes this new 21-degree hybrid iron with dynamic energy core technology. You'll hit this club longer and straighter than any other iron. Get the new Warrior Tomahawk Edge Hybrid today, and all you cover is shipping and customization. It's time to switch and make Warrior Custom Golf your new weapon of choice. No purchase necessary and no catches. It's yours absolutely free. Supplies are limited, so call now.
Now.
As we start the third quarter, Tennessee leads Kentucky 21-13. You're watching SEC Network Football presented by Allstate. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Andre Ware. Back and forth affair. Wild first quarter, then things kind of settled down a little bit. And one common theme in the recent history of this series, Josh Dobbs. He's been magnificent again.
Yeah, hasn't lost to Kentucky. He had his team in a pretty good position in the first half. Had a magnificent first half of football, both running and throwing. Here, Josh Smith, the first touchdown pass by Joshua Dobbs, and then getting it in the end zone himself. He finds Ethan Wolf, the tight end. Just about a perfect first half with one blemish, the interception. And on the other side, Steven Johnson, the quarterback, with a 75-yard sprint to set up Kentucky in their first score, with Boom Williams gets himself into the end zone. It's been back and forth. The difference has been Tennessee scoring touchdowns in the red zone, Kentucky's kicking field goals.
Tennessee's scoring drives have all been aided by a big play, primarily on the ground. Couple along Josh Dobbs' run and a catch and run by Tyler Bird that covered 44 yards. I understand why you're excited. Tennessee winning this game, and with some help from LSU, could make it back to Atlanta for the first time since 2007. Kentucky will start with the ball here in the second half. No return on the kickoff. Let's go down the field as we check in with Cole.
Talked to Mark Stoops some. He said plays on the perimeter, what we have to stop. Giving up too many plays. Need to make Tennessee earn it defensively when the Vols have the football. Also, linebacker Jordan Jones going to be out in the second half. Jeff Badette, wide receiver, out for the Wildcats in the second half.
Well, those are two huge losses. Yeah. Jones third in the SEC in tackles per game, and Badette, the leading big play receiver simply by yardage per catch in the conference.
Well, two players we highlighted that said that they had to have big games in order for Kentucky to win. Both have now exited the game.
Boom Williams in the backfield with Steven Johnson. And with Badette missing, Tennessee showing blitz from Rashawn Golden again. They'll bring him. And there goes Boom Williams straight up the middle. On the first play from scrimmage, Kentucky turns to Boom, and it pays off a 39-yard run before Derek Barnett chased him down.
Boy, two blitzes from the secondary, Golden on both occasions, and when you do it and you're playing man coverage, if he breaks the line of scrimmage, you're going to give up a big play. Boom Williams has done it on a couple of occasions, he and Steven Johnson.
So now they go back to the Wildcat with Boom Williams, Benny Snell in the backfield now, and they split Johnson out. They try to reverse pass out of this. Benny Snell Jr. will take it to the right side, and he's got yardage on the ground. And this was the question at the half, Andre. Can Kentucky move the ball on the ground against Tennessee? And if not, how could they come back? Well, they're moving it.
Well, yes, and the answer is yes, they can. And when you have Badette out, one of your weapons on the outside, who do you turn to? What happens then? Well, you go back behind that big offensive line. John Toth leading the way in the middle. And tell you what, Boom Williams got it started. Benny Snell with a nice stiff arm to free himself up to another first down. Let's see what this flag is all about here.
Long conference with the officials. They'll explain the call to Mark Stoops.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 65 on the offense. Penalty is 15 yards. Result of the play is a first down.
Gervonta Stallings, a sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama, Spain Park High School, and that's going to cost them some yardage, though they do have a fresh set of downs.
Sure, I didn't see it. Mark Stoops is upset. because of the call.
It came at the end of that long run by Benny Snell Jr. Third play of the half for Kentucky. Snell swallowed up by Barnett. It'll be a loss of 3, and LaTroy Lewis there. Let's go back and show you the penalty. Number 65 riding his defender Golden out of bounds. And then a shove where they're way off into the Kentucky bench.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna. It's a good call by the official. Just kind of got to know where you are on the field and when enough is enough.
Second down and 13. Johnson rises up. Conrad with the catch. Great hands by the tight end. That one was sailing right past him, but he used all 6'5" to haul it in. Gain of 22, and he's injured.
He may have taken a shot right in the quad at the end of this, but he is excellent in play action. Sells it, sells the block, and then a nice job of climbing the ladder to make a heck of a catch. Well, he does Cortez McDowell a number on the fake that he was going to block him, and then it's Todd Kelly with a helmet to the thigh or to the forearm of Conrad.
Cole, what do you see down there?
Well, I tell you what I like about that play action to C.J. Conrad there. The game plan was to get him to the side of Derek Barnett and add some extra help. Maybe not even help in blocking, Tom, but to widen the edge and remove Derek Barnett a gap away from the football. We've been seeing that mostly today, and a nice job of slipping him through the middle of that offensive line on a play action, hitting him down the seam.
And it's not always the tight end they use. They've also used Nick Haynes, an offensive lineman, lined up as a tight end to extend that line, as LaGrange comes out of the game for at least one play.
It's good play design when you bring in play action. You're running the football the way Kentucky is. It's nice.
21-13 opening drive, second half for Kentucky. Timeout on the field.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. It's good to be in good hands.
Military aircraft have a new technology, NanoPro MT. It was developed for military use. Now it's engineered for cars and trucks. I add NanoPro MT's oil stabilizer with every oil change so it runs cooler with more horsepower and gets more miles out of every tank of gas.
Engine surfaces look smooth, but are microscopically rough. Traditional oils don't protect against this microscopic friction, but NanoPro MT adds tiny nanoparticles to your oil that fill in metal surfaces so that your engine creates less friction and heat. Racing tests with NanoPro MT found it keeps parts in better shape and found engines run cooler with increased horsepower.
When I change my oil, I know it's done right with NanoPro MT.
It's military tested, military tough. The entire NanoPro MT line is available exclusively at AutoZone. Buy the oil stabilizer to reduce friction and improve engine performance. And the penetrating lubricant dives deep into joints. It even loosens frozen and rusted bolts. Get NanoPro MT today. Available at AutoZone.
Being a part of the Southeastern Conference, it means more than you might think. It means taking the field, every field, by storm. It's a single gesture and a double major. It's camping out for a week for a practice. It's home and away. And it is so not a phase. Whatever it is, here, it just means more.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
We talk a lot about Kentucky's ground game. Credit up front to John Toth.
Yeah, he's the guy, the machine that makes it all work. Watch him work in the middle against Kendall Vickers, Kyle Phillips. Every big run has been because of the blocking up front of John Toth. Right here, the last one with Boone Williams, John Toth right in the middle of the formation, freeing up Boone Williams. I tell you what, he is about as good as there gets in the SEC at that position.
Kentucky today averaging nearly 9 yards a carry.
I respect him so much. I had to go down before the pregame when he was warming up, give him a high five, tell him to have a good game and play safe.
It's a big reach. He's 6'5" with long arms. Johnson will keep it, trying to outrun Bynum, and he gets shoved out of bounds by Micah Abernathy. Loss of 3, Cole.
Yeah, I agree with Andre, and I thought coming into this football game, the area for the Wildcats to attack would be the middle of the Tennessee defense, because you have John Toth, who I believe is the best center in the SEC, going against a group that didn't have a lot of snaps. Now, first group that was out there, not too bad, but when you get late in the game and you can't roll defensive tackles, you begin to wear down. I thought Kentucky had a huge advantage there coming in.
Tennessee's had to go deep into its roster to find defensive tackles. A lot of injuries. Benny Snell in a Wildcat here. Oh, knocked into Baker trying to fake the jet sweep. That may have cost him a step. And Micah Abernathy has his stop.
Yeah, it's certainly through the timing of the playoff. And I don't think Baker's supposed to bubble back. You'll see him bubble back towards the quarterback. You keep a flat line. Actually, the Wildcat player in that instance, not the quarterback, but nevertheless, it threw the timing all the way off for Benny Snell.
Third down, 13. JoJo Kemp enters. Galton showing blitz again. They bring the house. Johnson looks end zone, fires high and incomplete.
Well, we talked about that when we saw them against Missouri. He carries the ball so low in his drop that when it's a pressure type situation, when he misses, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be high, because he's got to bring the ball up in order to release it. And you get a couple of pass rushers around him, it affects where the ball's going to go. Once again, Kentucky with a great drive, they're going to finish it with a field goal attempt.
A personal foul penalty cost him 15 yards and some momentum. So here's Austin McGinnis from 32. Whoa, Tennessee almost got that one, but he knocks it through to make it a 5-point game. Officially a 33-yarder for McGinnis. And the pressure from the edge came from Tennessee, and a fingertip away from rejecting that one.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Gotta have great focus in here today. Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good. Do what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
Happy Veterans Day to all of our troops out there. You've provided us so many opportunities.
Thank you for all you do for the United States of America.
As we know, freedom is not free.
We wouldn't have college football or the ability to play it without our freedom.
You know, we live in the greatest nation in the world.
Be blessed, stay safe.
And we know that you're very special.
We owe you a great debt.
From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. God bless.
From Vanderbilt University to you. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. I can't tell you thank you enough.
Happy Veterans Day.
on the SEC Network.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and them. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
SEC Network Football is brought to you by CiCi's, Meat Eater and Supreme Pizzas now guaranteed on the buffet. And Dr. Pepper and Dollar General, making smart plays this football season.
On this Veterans Day weekend, we salute the UT ROTC Hall of Fame. The inaugural Hall of Fame induction took place last night. It was the largest gathering of UT general officers in the history of the university. And among those honored, Brigadier General Robin Aiken, the only female commissioned by UT ROTC to achieve the general officer rank. She served in 4 operations overseas and co-founded a nonprofit assisting female vets. And prior to her, Jim Haslam was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. Haslam played on General Robert Nealon's teams in the early 50s and is the namesake for the UT College of Business. A 1952 Kentucky-Tennessee game, by the way. Haslam didn't play in because he had redshirted the year before on the national title team. They discovered that he had played in the game, so he was ineligible. May have helped him. There was 18 inches of snow on the ground in the 1952 matchup between General Nealon's Volunteers and Bear Bryant's Kentucky Wildcats. Chance for a return for Tennessee. Tyler Boyd brings it out to the 15. We've got a flag down. By the way, got a new friend, Matthew McClellan, this week in Knoxville. Longtime proprietor in the Knoxville area. He used to live just north of the stadium here. And he pointed out that the way they cleared the snow from Neyland Stadium, well, Shields Watkins Field then, the local bakery sent their employees down with shovels to make way for the fans. He attended with his father that day.
During the return, holding number 40 on the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Daniel Batuli is the injured Tennessee player.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, Kentucky, when you just look at the numbers, has really dominated this football game. Total yards, 349 to 289. Time of possession, about plus 7 minutes. Yards per play, 7.1 yards per play. It just goes back to the old red zone that we talked about. 4 trips, 1 touchdown, 3 field goals. Tennessee's getting the ball in the end zone.
It's a good point that you make, Andre. When I talked to Coach Stoops at the half, he said, we just got to find a way to quit giving up big plays. We're giving up the perimeter, but we're not making one-on-one tackles on the edge. It's unacceptable. He said, if we can do that, keep ball carriers in front of us, he thinks they have a better shot on defense in the second half.
Look at the red zone results for both sides. 3 out of 4 trips have ended in a field goal for Kentucky. Tennessee 2 for 2 in touchdowns. Josh Dobbs back to work. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns. He's run for another. And he will hand it off to Alvin Kamara, who gets taken down by Eli Brown. And I don't think this can be overstated enough. Eli Brown has taken the spot of Jordan Jones, a sophomore from Youngstown, who's 3rd in the league in tackles per game. Cole told us coming out of the break that we won't see action in the second half due to injury.
Yeah, he's their defensive MVP to this point in the season.
Kamara goes to the right side this time. And he's still on his feet past the 30 before finally brought down by Mike Edwards, gain of 16.
Now you see Kamara, who is nursing a knee injury, playing with that big brace on his left knee. Seemed to be prohibiting him from doing his job. He's broken off a couple of big runs in this game so far.
Dobbs pulls it back, looking deep. Out to the sideline, and Jennings, and he has it for another Tennessee first down and a gain of 19 to Jawan Jennings.
What a throw and what a catch. They run the football, play action. You see the false step by the linebackers. Gives Jennings a chance to get behind coverage. I don't know if you can just walk it out there and drop it in any better than that.
Here's John Kelly. And Kelly stood up at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Adrian Middleton and Denzel Ware there. Nice to see Ware back in the game after he left with what looked to be a knee injury in the first half.
Tell you what, Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, he's called a nice game. Very balanced game offensively. They've been able to run the football when they want to, and then at a necessity when they have to throw it, and just to keep Kentucky off balance, they've been able to complete passes.
Flea flicker. Dobbs has a man wide open. It's Malone, and he's got it! Touchdown, Tennessee!
What a heads-up play by Josh Dobbs. Defensive back was to the inside playing catch-up. He threw it over the outside shoulder of Josh Malone, who made one heck of an adjustment on the football to turn himself outside, secure the catch, keep his footing, and still get himself into the end zone. What a throw and a catch.
They cover 92 yards in less than 2 minutes, and Medley puts the point after through.
Just talked about the play calling of Mike DeBoard, and then he mixes in a little razzle-dazzle. You rarely see Tennessee go under center, so you knew something was up. Kelly flips it back to Dobbs. Dobbs throws the outside shoulder where Malone has to turn the other way and gets behind Marcus McWilson.
McWilson gambled a little bit on this ball.
Well, that's throwing a guy open. He was wide open, but had you thrown it inside, the safety would make a play on it. McWilliams would have made a play. He throws the outside shoulder, totally turned Josh Malone away from coverage.
Talked with Mike DeBoard yesterday. This may be Butch Jones's offense, one that was installed a couple stops ago at Central Michigan, but he insisted, I'm the one that calls the plays. I do most of the work game prep during the week, and this is an offense which against Alabama, A&M, and Florida averaged 29 points a game and nearly 450 yards in those 3 games. Benny Snell on the return takes it out to the 21. So Kentucky struggled late in the season. Tennessee has had success late in the season, and Josh Dobbs against Kentucky in this game. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Not just in this game, 3-0 in his career against Kentucky, 925 yards passing. You see the production and 15 total touchdowns.
Injured Wildcat is Kendall Randolph. Dobbs looking to go to 21-7 in his last 28 starts as Butch Jones is quarterback, and he got up to a great start last week against Tennessee Tech, hit on his first 11. By the way, there's one guy who wanted to be here at Neyland Stadium last year. That's Jeff Jacoby. He played his college football at Tennessee Tech. He's a local radio host here in Knoxville. Couldn't make it to that game. Couldn't make it to this one. Back watching with his wife Sherry as he battles cancer. Just out of surgery again Monday. Jeff, everybody here is thinking about you. So we hope you get well soon. He'd love to be down on the field with a camera in his hand. It's a 12-point Tennessee lead. Here's the injury to Kendall Randolph. Middle of your screen, and he got cleaned up at the end of that play.
Trying to sit up.
Will Muschamp's return to the Swamp not going well. Florida has added to its lead with 5:20 to go in the third quarter. Gators lead South Carolina 17-0. That would eliminate Kentucky from a chance to make it to Atlanta. So for Tennessee, they can win out and have Florida. They can't win today, lose on their trip to Baton Rouge. They need to win today and then win one of their 2 remaining games if Florida loses today and against LSU. And a couple other things need to happen as well. 1st and 10, Steven Johnson looking play action, and that one is erased. They just had a hard time getting those short passes out. Kyle Phillips knocked that one away, his second tip of the game.
Tell you what, he's quietly had a nice football game. A couple of stops inside, and you see him here slide out, time it just right. Young player, just a sophomore, was a U.S. Army All-American out of high school. It'll be a good one.
Steven Johnson just 6 for 20 passing today. escapes pressure. Takes it right up the middle of the field before Micah Abernathy brings him down.
That's what he can do. Make plays with his legs. Take shots down the field. He's not going to throw for a high completion percentage because they drive the ball down the field. Based on the running game, it's usually play action, which is what he was trying to do there. Everything broke down. He's got some pressure, able to pull it down and make some plays.
They've been without a deep threat since Jeff Badet left this game early with a hip pointer injury. Boom Williams finds room. Colton Jumper brings him down by an ankle. It's a gain of 8 on first down.
Almost feels like a must-score drive for Kentucky from a momentum standpoint. You mentioned Badet being out of the game. Need to stay close. Really needing to get into the end zone.
Yeah, because how do you play from behind if you're this team without a deep threat?
It's tough. Tight ends have to contribute. You need a couple of big runs from those two backs.
On 2nd and 2, Boom Williams picks up the first down. Gosh, you would almost think, I mean, I know it's in hindsight, but you're looking at a 2nd and 2. Your running game has been great. Isn't that an opportunity to take a deep shot since you're stressed other ways?
It is if you had your deep shot threat in the ball game in Badet, which is why we thought he was going to be so important. But Dorian Baker, big body, guy that can get down the field. Maybe go to him, Timmons.
Over 100 yards now for Boom Williams, the 11th 100-yard game in his career. Now they want to go deep, and Johnson's erased. Corey Vereen with another sack. Loss of 8.
Well, you start concentrating on Derek Barnett, and you just forget about this guy. Excellent pass rusher. Watch him here. Out here is just going to make his way around, and he's just used speed rush most of the day. A little outside, and then come back underneath. The speed rush was there earlier. There he fools Kyle Meadows, gets him up the field, and comes right underneath him.
Johnson able to find his tight end for a gain of 9. That's Charles Walker, pardon me, the wide receiver. Micah Abernathy to stop.
They're going to need some of that. You're running the football, but you're going to need some quick passes that get you a few chunk yards, the 8 to 10 range, so that you can not really allow Tennessee to load the box and stop your running game.
Derek Barnett jumped. No flag. Johnson deep down the sideline. It is hauled in, but out of bounds is Blake Bone.
You want to give him about 4 yards, and you see,
oh, hold on.
That right foot looked like it may have been inbounds. Let's see here. Catch. Right foot down. Does he control it?
The previous play is under further review.
Yes, he
Ruling
does.
on the field was an incomplete pass.
It's going to be overturned.
Fantastic footwork by the junior from Woodruff, South Carolina.
Well, that's a heck of a job of concentrating, and then the right foot coming down. That's a catch.
And that could be a game-changing catch as they go to the replay booth to take another look at it.
Right, yep. Secure it. Foot's down. Finishes it. Catch.
John Bible in the replay booth. They just have not had that deep threat with Jeff Badet injured.
Yeah.
Badet leading the SEC with 24 yards per catch. And Stephen Johnson throws a beautiful deep ball, especially on the post. That's caught the attention of the Tennessee coaches.
You give him some time, and he can get it down the field.
Cole, what do you got on what you just saw?
Eddie Gran was the running back coach when I was at Auburn, and we had a play called freeze, just a freeze play. You saw Stephen Johnson run it there. Tackle's best friend to try to get those defensive ends and slow down the speed rush.
The receiver had possession with 1 foot inbounds at the 14-yard line. It'll be first down Kentucky at the 14.
So it's a 35-37 officially yard completion to Blake Bone, and now some momentum with Stephen Johnson in Kentucky.
And you see right here, great job of concentrating. The right foot is down, clearly in bounds. And officials did a nice job there. Replay officials stop and play to take a look at it. Got it right because it is huge for Kentucky. Now, inside the red zone again, Tom, for the 5th time. Going to come away with some big points here.
JoJo Kemp has been used as a 3rd down back. He's in here, 1st and 10. Tennessee creeps the safety up. Kemp hit at the line of scrimmage by Corey Breen. Picked up maybe 2 yards.
Boy, when you see the safety creeping down inside, you got to be able to get out of the run with the 8-man front and take advantage. Safety's creeping down. You want to throw the slant coming in here and not run into that 8-man front.
3rd different running back to line up in the Wildcat today for Kentucky. This time it's Kemp. They fake it to Walker. Kemp lowers his head. He's able to pick up 4 yards that time. Darren Kirkland Jr. with the stop for Tennessee. It's 3rd down.
JoJo Kemp, about a year or so ago, he was known as the clock killer, because they would go strictly to the Wildcat. And he was the guy when they wanted to go into their 4-minute offense. He was the guy that killed the clock for them last year.
1 touchdown on 4 possessions today for Kentucky. Field goals the rest of the way. 3rd down 4. Tennessee has to use a timeout. Butch Jones ran all the way out to the 20-yard line.
Timeout. Tennessee.
Communication issues for Tennessee. It seems nobody on defense knew what was going on. Part of the reason they only had 10 men on the field.
Well, he just really
This will be a
eyeballed
30-second timeout.
a player that he thought should have been on the field.
So 3rd and 4 now for Kentucky, down 12 here. And you'll see Butch Jones on the sideline. This is a Tennessee season which started off with great promise. They were a top 10 team coming in.
Yeah.
They could still finish with 9 wins in the regular season and not make it to Atlanta. Is that a failure in your mind?
You know, I don't think so, because all the injuries that he's had and he had to deal with, just the interior of his defense coming into this game. He's shuffling players around to try to find enough depth to get through 60 minutes of football. So I don't think so. There's a lot that you have to overcome to have the perfect season. And when injuries play a point, it makes it tough.
There's all sorts of games that Tennessee was able to pull out late in the season, starting with Appalachian State. They won a Hail Mary against Georgia to get a win down in Athens. They beat Florida in a crazy game here in Knoxville. Yet they need to win today to still have a shot to make it to Atlanta. They haven't been there since 07. 3rd down 4.
Need to pull the running back here to get the safety out, and then you get that.
Instead, they go straight ahead with Benny Snell, and he may have the first down. Ball may have come out. Tennessee football. Snell coughs it up, and a huge turnover recovered by LaTroy Lewis. Flags after the play.
Talk about all that needs to be done. Trying to free up the middle of the field. Snell had the first down, but you've got to hold on to the football.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike foul, number 68 on Kentucky. The penalty is 15 yards from the spot of recovery. That is number 68's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by Tennessee.
Another unsportsmanlike for Haynes, and he would be ejected from the game. It looked like Benny Snell had picked up the first down or was close to it, but let's watch when the football comes out. Wow.
It's clearly out. Clearly out.
And a clear immediate recovery by LaTroy Lewis.
Yeah, and that's 5 trips into the red zone for Kentucky. 1 touchdown, 3 field goals, and now a turnover by Benny Snell. Right in front of the official. It's Nick Haynes shoving Darren Kirkland.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed of a fumble. First down, Tennessee.
calm Nick Haynes down.
Tennessee football when we return after the first turnover of the day for Kentucky. Wildcats were threatening, and now Tennessee back with the football in a 12-point lead.
Please bow your heads. And I'm just grateful that we can all be here in this moment.
I'm thankful for my family and that they care about me.
We're another year older. We've been through a lot of trauma.
No matter what color we are, no matter what uniform we got on, you guys are my family.
Nothing more important than family today. It's good to be together.
Let's enjoy.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC.
Can Bosley regrow your hair?
This is my own growing hair that I can comb, cut, style, do whatever I want with it.
The results I've achieved have been exceptional. This is my real hair. I can do with it whatever I want. This is mine.
Bosley gave me my hair back. I cut this hair. I wash this hair. I mess this hair up if I want to mess this hair up.
I can't explain to you the way that it made me feel to be able to wear my hair down, go out on a date, and have confidence again.
Can Bosley regrow your hair?
This is my hair. This is my hair.
Call or go online for your free, no-obligation self-evaluation kit. Plus, call in the next 6 minutes, and we'll even send you this $250 gift certificate. The information is free, so choose to grow back your own real hair. Choose Bosley. Call now.
A costly fumble for Benny Snell Jr., 14th lost fumble of the season for Kentucky. Overall, their 22nd turnover. One of the worst turnover rates in all of college football. 2 turnovers today, and instead of being knocking on the door with a 1st and goal, they give it to Josh Dobbs in Tennessee. Dobbs will keep it. Gain of 6 on 1st down for Dobbs. It's his 11th carry. So close to that number of a dozen.
Right on schedule for what Mike DeBoer said he wanted to do with him. You know, of those 11, 9 of them have been designed quarterback keeps.
Kelly gets wrapped up by Denzel Ware.
Was he tough to bring down? Just a hard-running young player.
For his career start last week against Tennessee Tech, went over the century mark, had a touchdown, on only 7 carries. He's averaged almost 9.5 yards a carry over the last 2 weeks. Dobbs looking deep for Kroom. Kroom gets tripped up, and there's the flag.
Yeah, working on Mike Edwards, the sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio. You see Kroom here and his a lot of hand action going on. That's enough, but then once you trip him, you're certainly going to get the flag.
Pass interference on the defense, number 27. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
He's kind of the quarterback of the secondary. Solid in coverage, but there he could feel Jason Kroom slipping away.
Here's Kelly. Pass midfield. Gain of 5. Down in Gainesville, Gators lead the Gamecocks 20-0 as they start the fourth quarter at the Swamp. That would seal Kentucky's fate in terms of a first ever trip to Atlanta, regardless of a comeback here in Knoxville. 3-man rush, able to find Ethan Wolf, the tight end, his third catch of the game, and Wolf able to take it inside the 40 before Edwards brings him down. A gain of 10 and a first down.
Excellent receiving tight end. You can move him around, create matchup problems for the defense, and just excellent hands. Looked like he may have gotten the wind knocked out of him there, but tell you what, Josh Dobbs has really moved the ball around today.
Dobbs keeps it himself. Inside the 20, and he tap dances his way inside the 15. A 22-yard run by Dobbs. Andre, you mentioned all the runs for Dobbs. That's his 10th design run for 127 yards. He's been sacked twice for a loss of 33.
Yeah, right on schedule, and we still have the fourth quarter, but I'll tell you what, he's played a solid game, and Mike DeBoer has called a solid game for Joshua Dobbs.
Denzel Ware grabbing his left calf.
He went out earlier with a lower leg injury, and wondering if this is the effects of that earlier injury.
It doesn't take much to draw the ire of the opponent fan base, and when they see something like that, they immediately assume something is amiss, right or wrong.
Yeah.
3:34 remaining in the third quarter.
I'm not sure, you know, I know there are a lot of fans that don't agree with this injury, but I don't think he's falsifying this injury, so to speak. I think there's really something wrong there.
Well, you know, listen, there are teams that run such high-tempo offenses that opponents will use that as a way to slow down their offense, and there's certainly occasions where teams are coached to do that. There's no benefit for Kentucky to get Denzel Ware off the field.
No doubt. Not Denzel Ware.
Kamara, full head of steam. Beautiful vision, and he's into the checkerboard. 17-yard touchdown run by Alvin Kamara.
Man, does he have some wheels. Mentioned earlier playing with that knee brace on his left knee, but watch him right here stretch the hole. Nice job by Drew Richmond, the left tackle, to kick out. He stretches it, finds a nice crease, and when he hits it, boy, does he hit it at 100 miles an hour.
Six-play, 81-yard drive. Medley's extra point will be delayed. Laundry on the field.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 60 on the offense. Replay the try.
Alvin Kamara has 9 carries for 99 yards today.
Talk about maximizing your carries.
Only Jamal Lewis against Kentucky in '97 had 100 rush and 100 receiving yards in the same game. That's when he did it against Texas A&M. Kamara did. Medley with the extra point and moving back 5 yards. And Alvin Kamara, redshirt junior from Norcross, Georgia, by way of Hutchinson Community College in Alabama, takes it in from 17 yards out. Who wouldn't want to be a running back in this system?
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and them. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
All right, coming up after this game, we head to Columbia. 3:40 kickoff for Derek Mason and his Doors versus Mizzou. Looking to go bowling for the first time under Coach Mason. Need a win in that final road game of the season.
All right, Peter, thanks. That's good news because I got a text from Stinch. He and Dave were looking for 5 more minutes in Como today. So they'll get that with the slide of that kick. Here at 35-16. Tennessee on top of Kentucky. Take those 5 minutes and go grab a Booch's burger and you're good.
Relax. You're not going anywhere tonight anyway.
Benny Snell from the one. They fake the reverse. And there's nothing doing in the return game for Kentucky. Once again, that's another area they missed Jeff Badet. So 3:12 to go here for Steven Johnson in Kentucky. He's only completed 8 of 22 passes for 149.
Let me tell you, the way this game is going, it'll sound crazy, but there's still plenty of time for this Kentucky team to get back in it. And it's, what do you have inside of you at this point? You're going to fight to the finish? Or are you just going to lay down and let Tennessee play the way they've been playing?
Well, they're playing a little bit differently right now because Jonathan Kongbo is in the game for the first time. It takes until 3 minutes to go in the third quarter before he enters the game. Much maligned defensive lineman. Caught the eye of his coaches this week. Butch Jones called him out for his immaturity earlier this week. Kongbo is a guy who's the #1 junior college defensive end coming out of Arizona Western. He's from Surrey, British Columbia, a stopover in Laramie, Wyoming, and they know this guy has an NFL body, 6'6", 270. If they can get him to play with a motor and maturity to match that build, they'll have something special, but it hasn't happened yet.
Actually wouldn't mind seeing him. The coaching staff, that is, wants him to move down inside. They think that's where his future is, but he's been resistant to the change to move to defensive tackle.
Well, isn't that kind of simple? Don't you just say you're going to play defensive tackle?
Well, most coaches will give the player the option and hoping that he will make the change because there's less playing time if you don't make the change. And so the player will wind up going ahead and making that change, the adjustment.
It's a simple equation. You move and you play, or you don't move and you don't.
Yeah.
Gain of 1 on 3rd and 2. Micah Abernathy with the big stop on Greg Hart.
Really like this young man. Got corner skills, safety, toughness. He's smart like a quarterback.
He comes from a great family. His late grandfather, Ralph David Abernathy Sr., was one of the leaders of the American Civil Rights Movement, close friend of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His father was a former Georgia senator. His older brother played at Cincinnati for Butch Jones.
Yeah, he's everything you want in a player, especially at that position.
Kentucky hops. Smith tries to field it, and he bobbles it away. Kentucky gets the takeaway on an ill-advised play by Josh Smith. Just when you thought it was smooth sailing.
That turnover that we were talking about kind of creeps back into the game and breathes life back into this Kentucky football team, but that one you got to make sure you handle it. A lot of white jerseys around that pile.
Looks like Tristan Yeomans is the Kentucky player who came up with it. Their long snapper. All right, so a new lease for Kentucky before the third quarter comes to an end. And a lesson learned by Smith. JoJo Kemp. Picks up 1.
I don't know if there's anything going on with Boone Williams.
That's what I was just thinking.
No, Snell had the fumble, so it's understandable, but JoJo Kemp is in the game, and Williams and Snell both had a solid 3-game run, and neither one is taking carries right now. The most important part of this football game.
I believe it was the first Kentucky drive of the second half when Williams had that long run up the right sideline.
Yeah.
He left limping after that 39-yard run. I'm not sure we've seen him since. Kemp snuffed in the backfield. It's a loss of 2. Rashawn Golden coming down on that run support blitz makes it pay.
So many guys in the box for Tennessee, and right now you are just forcing the run. I mean, they have enough bodies in the box that they can take care of JoJo Kemp, and if Steven Johnson pulls it, they've got numbers for him as well. Now you're in 3rd down and an obvious passing situation.
Conrad couldn't get communication to his quarterback. Johnson over the middle, incomplete. C.J. Conrad, the tight end, 87, was screaming at Steven Johnson to either make a check or change the play. Johnson didn't hear him, never made the adjustment, and Conrad initially didn't even move off the line of scrimmage on the snap. Frustrations for Kentucky.
Situation here for Mark Stoops. He's going to go for it.
4th and 12. They've converted 7 of 9 on 4th down this season. I'm not sure they've had one this long, though. Watch number 9, Derek Barnett. And they're going to pooch it. So that'll carry in the end zone, a 38-yard punt. And that'll bring it into the 3rd quarter. Kentucky unable to take advantage of the fumble
That is the end of the
return.
3rd quarter.
It's been all orange in this second half. The Volunteers have opened up a 35-16 lead in a must-win game in Neyland.
You give your all here and here. You're building a foundation that will lead to opportunities, that will open doors. Yet so many smart, talented student athletes leave college prepared to make money, but ill-prepared to manage it. That's why Regions Bank has provided more than 64,000 presentations in communities throughout the SEC to teach individuals good sense money management. Because understanding the value of $1 is just as important as earning one.
At Holiday Inn Express, we've got the best breakfast to keep these young boys playing like the pros. Hey, go Python!
We're the Cobras.
That's the spirit. Hey, huh?
To be your best, you have to apply yourself. I apply myself every day.
Gold Bond Men's Lotion. Everyday moisture hydrates dry skin. Intensive therapy keeps extra dry skin smooth. With 7 intensive moisturizers and skin strengthening proteins. Man up.
Zaxby's food has always brought people together. Catering to the big moments. The little wins. The long talks. And the quick getaways. Because food this inviting is bound to add a lot of flavor to your life. Introducing the Zax Pack. Served with chicken fingers, sides, Texas toast, and iced tea. Pick one up for dinner or your next event. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
Well, thanks so much for being here today. And it's
Coach looks great today.
Friendly faces out there.
Looks like Coach is having a tough time making the right style call, so he's bringing in an expert. No.
Built for comfort.
After a series of questionable calls, what are the chances he can pull out a W?
He's got a great sense of style.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Back Evan Ingram. This is Kirk. A brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and them. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
Third quarter belonged to Tennessee. Josh Dobbs on the flea flicker, able to go deep on a great play by Josh Malone to win the 50-50 ball, and then a couple of takeaways. This one when Kentucky was looking at a possible 1st and goal.
Enjoying Alvin Kamara's touchdown run. And the difference. Tennessee gets there, they're punching it in.
We start the 4th. And John Kelly has room. Blake McLean brings him down in the open field after a gain of 10.
Similar styles to Kamara. Kelly and Kamara. Same build. Same kind of quickness and speed. Kamara when he turns the corner. Wow.
Kamara 5'10", 215. Kelly 5'9", 212. Tennessee's been remarkable on 1st down thus far today. Here's Kelly to the outside. You know, you talk about those two running backs being of similar stature and similar skill set. It can't help but take me back to Jalen Hurd, and walked away from this program after the South Carolina loss.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that wanted to be running out of the I formation, maybe was promised some of it. So we looked at the numbers. Within the zone read, he had 55 attempts. All other attempts, some of this was out of the eye, some of this was out of the pistol, 67 attempts. So I don't think anyone would ever try to pigeonhole Jalen Hurd and say you are only a zone read type back. Here's Wolf out of the backfield.
No, I think he's not a zone read type.
You were saying
back.
this week 3 of the season, put him in the eye.
I think he's an eye pistol downhill runner, but that does not give anyone the right to walk away from a program, and I happen to think he will never live it down. If he wants an NFL future, he's going to answer that question over and over again. There is nothing that makes you quit on a football team right in the middle of a season. Nothing. No excuse.
Jalen Hurd had been dealing with numerous injuries and failed to return in the second half of that South Carolina game. Dobbs pulls it back, and now will let it go incomplete down the sideline.
As a matter of fact, it may prohibit him from ever playing in the NFL.
I would think, just from an outsider's perspective, he would have a better chance of playing in the NFL than he would catching on with another major conference college team, especially since he's made public his wishes known to be a wide receiver. He simply isn't a wide receiver.
No, he is a downhill, big, 6'3", 240-pound back.
But NFL teams will take chances and flyers on a lot of different character flaw guys because it's all about production. Can you overlook that if you're a personnel director?
I couldn't. Being honest with you, I couldn't. When are you going to quit on me?
By the way, now may not be the time to tell you that I got a flight to catch. Quit. Headed to the airport. Got 13 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. You want to win a championship, it's on you. Ball back to Kentucky here at Neyland.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
It's signing day, and the time has come. Countless hours of hard work, preparation, and attention to detail made this day possible. And now, you're signing for your new home. Our nationwide team of industry professionals is proud to help make this moment possible. Franklin American Mortgage. It all begins with home.
Gotta have great focus in here today.
Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good.
Do what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
Good morning, guys. Breakfast is on me, so go nuts.
Look at the new host stepping up. Thank you so much.
Oh, you know breakfast is free, right?
Can't you just be thankful?
Be thankful.
Thanks.
Holiday Inn Express, proud sponsor of SEC Nation on SEC Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk. A brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. A beautiful catch down the sideline by Blake Bone, the junior from Woodruff, South Carolina.
Yeah, excellent concentration, getting the right foot down inbounds. Kentucky going to need a couple of those. Maybe a few from Blake Bone, Ryan Timmons, to get themselves back in this ball game.
Bone only came in with 2 catches on the season.
Hey, he heard me. Did you see it? He gave me a thumbs up.
He did. Other guy on the other side of the formation gave you a thumbs down.
He wants the rock.
Not
right?
enough balls to go around. Here's Boom at the 29-yard line. Gain of 17.
What a player. I mean, you see the effect that he has on Kentucky's offense. Maybe a hyperextended elbow or something. He's got a brace on that I don't remember him having before the game started, but I don't know. But just the punch that he brings to this offense.
Suffered an elbow injury at the end of last season. JoJo Kemp this time. JoJo Kemp, the closer, takes it right up the hash mark. Kemp in a foot race. He's inside the 20, the 10, and he is in. Touchdown Kentucky on a JoJo Kemp 71-yard sprint.
Needing big plays. Call on the closer. The clock killer, as he was last year, JoJo Kemp. What? His legs were churning, and he's able to outrace the secondary into the end zone. Malik Foreman could not catch up.
They're going to go for 2, try to make it an 11-point game. Difference in would be a field goal and a touchdown with another 2-point conversion. So chasing the points here with 12:30 to go in the 4th quarter.
Told you it's not over. Plenty of time.
Aha.
Aha.
Everybody loaded up. Clutch Jones gets a timeout. He ran all the way out to the 15-yard line.
Timeout. Tennessee. Second charge timeout.
For the second time, Tennessee only 10 men on the field. And it's not hard to guess that Kenny Bynum may just be the person who was supposed to have been there. Here's a hint for you players out there. If you're responsible for your coach's face turning purple, not a good sign.
When the coaches get into meetings tomorrow, and then that position coach to the player, that message will be passed down in a hurry.
Tommy Thigpen, the linebackers coach, they've been flipping Bynum with Rashawn Golden, the nickel back, throughout the course of this game. And Bynum may not have even been aware that they were going for 2, let alone what defense was called.
Yeah.
Leading rushers today, Boom Williams with 127 and a touchdown. JoJo Kemp now has 81 after that long run and a touchdown. And Snell with 79 on the ground.
A lot of production there. It's just when you get in the red zone, you got to find a way to get in the end zone. They've been there plenty of times to be right in this ball game, and they are with 12 and a half minutes left to play.
Snell in the Wildcat. They're going to run the reverse, and he put it on the ground. Timing was off from the get-go. No points on the try. He was trying to reverse it to Charles Walker.
I just assumed kick the field goal, didn't run that play.
The extra point, sure.
I mean, the extra point. I'm sorry. Just kick the extra point. You're not going to trick your way into anything against Tennessee.
JoJo Kemp took it straight ahead for 71 yards. Interesting fourth quarter for Knoxville.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this?
Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check. Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free. Silence. It's good to be in good hands.
Remember when Christmas was magical? Let's get back there. Celebrate the arrival of Santa at Bass Pro Shops this Saturday and the unveiling of Santa's Wonderland. Time passes. Hold on to Christmas.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and them. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Seal Liquid, the super thick rubber that you can pour right into cracks to stop water dead in its tracks. You can brush or roll for a watertight seal, even dip all your tools for a tough no-slip grip. Flex Seal starts out as a thick liquid and turns into a flexible rubber that creates a super strong waterproof barrier. We even sealed this fish pond. Now you can handle any project with Flex Seal Liquid.
I'm Eli Manning. Check out the games on NFL Sunday Ticket this weekend while I spike this football really hard.
Ezekiel Elliott leads the Cowboys against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Matt Ryan and the Falcons face Carson Wentz and the Eagles. And Alex Smith and the Chiefs take on Cam Newton and the Panthers. Vikings at Redskins, Packers at Titans, Rams at Jets. You get every game.
Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get NFL Sunday Ticket to watch games anywhere live every Sunday.
Here are the standings entering today in the SEC East. Winner faces a powerhouse from the West. That's still not decided, by the way, in Atlanta. Florida has a comfortable lead against South Carolina, but the Gamecocks getting the ball back now, late second half in Gainesville. Kentucky would be eliminated from an SEC East Division championship with a loss here today to Tennessee or a Florida win. Ball's still in it. They haven't played for it all since 2007. Short kick. So will hit the turf and hauled in by Bird at the 20. Now he's got room. Pardon me, it's Marquell Osborne, and Osborne takes it past the 40. And that's where Tennessee's offense will set up shop.
Must be the jersey number. Everybody wearing 3 in orange. It just seems like they can run.
Yeah, I know you're a big Malone
True
fan.
freshman and Osborne, and then Malone, certainly. We can fly.
Sometimes it's just not fair to play-by-play announcers.
Just doesn't look like Malone's running. But man, is he covering a lot of ground. He's just so smooth.
And here's the pistol look. Well, it was for a moment with Kamara behind him out of the pistol eye. Dobbs rolls right, throws off balance. And we were talking about Malone. We're talking about Jalen Hurd and his desire to run out of the I formation. Well, Tennessee showed more pistol I formation in the first quarter last week against Tennessee Tech than maybe they have all year. And we asked Mike DeBoard about it, and he said, listen, we came out in that formation because we don't run it a ton, and we needed to show SEC teams some other tendencies. We needed to break our tendencies and give them something to prepare for.
Just a little ironic.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Here's Dobbs. Room. Dobbs in a foot race towards a pylon. He's in. He muscles his way for a 45-yard touchdown run.
What an athlete. You go down, you punch one in the end zone. As the quarterback of the football team, it's my responsibility to lead my team right back down the field to answer your scoring drive. Not only does he do it, but does it himself. Nice play fake to Kamara. And then now it's just a foot race. And this is just pure athletic ability on the part of Josh Dobbs.
And he flicked Marcus McWilson off like a bug on a windshield. McWilson thought he was there, could bring him down. That's the 11th designed quarterback run for Joshua Dobbs today. 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's an injured Wildcat on the field.
Responsible for 5 touchdowns, 2 running, as you mentioned, and then another 3 through the air for Josh Dobbs. Look at the numbers there.
You think he wouldn't mind having Kentucky on the schedule every week?
I'll tell you what, he's owned them.
4-0 against them with a win here today. Tennessee will even its SEC record at 3-3, and he had 7 wins on the season. Derek Beatty, the injured Kentucky player.
Tell you what kind of young man Josh Dobbs is. Down on the field before the game, he came over to me and apologized for missing us yesterday when we were at the facility. And I understand that course load that you have. I don't know that I'd make any meetings.
Second half belonging to Tennessee. They've outscored Kentucky 21-9 since the break. Joshua Dobbs responsible for 5 touchdowns today against Kentucky.
Coach Smart has a difficult decision to make. Should he pick the wrong shade, this could prove disastrous.
I need a whole new set of red ties, but none of these are Georgia red. What do you think?
He's going to the mascot, which is a tried and true approach. It often yields positive results, but if he's not careful here, this could backfire.
Bingo.
And it's good. Crisis averted.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money can be tough. That's why sometimes we bring in a little extra help.
It's only $1,500. I'll use it this time, I promise.
Sure.
$1,500 for a soon-to-be very expensive doorstop probably isn't the best investment.
Exactly.
Look, you don't need fancy equipment to get in shape. Check out my personal program at TebowFlex.com.
You should do whatever he's doing.
It's free. Check it out.
Regions, official bank of the SEC.
I'm Nick. That's my brother Brett. We make Johnsonville sausage every day. 100% premium pork, no fillers.
That's right, no fillers.
We're heading to SEC country to earn our fans one bite at a time.
So get fired up for game day made the Johnsonville way.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Gotta have great focus in here today. Let's roll, let's roll. It's football time.
SEC Inside.
It's where the game gets good. Do what we do every week in practice. Communicate.
Gets inside the game.
They came to see you. Give them what they want. Let's go.
This week, SEC Inside follows the Razorbacks. Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network.
Let's revisit our where to watch. What check marks you got here?
Yeah, continue the dominance on the ground for Kentucky. Yep, a check. 370 rushing yards. There's 4 players within at 79 or has 79 or more yards. Josh Dobbs, a dual threat success. Check. He's done that. 223 passing, 138 on the ground. And he's accounted for 5 total TDs and win the turnover battles. Both teams with 2 turnovers. That gets an X.
The difference in this one has been the red zone. Tennessee's success there versus Kentucky's lack of success. By the way, The video crew here at the University of Tennessee does as good a job as anyone in the country. They just had a really cool video. I don't know if you saw it. It was David Bowie's ground control to Major Tom. Of course, they salute Joshua Dobbs, Major Dobbs, aeronautical engineering major. Yep. And everyone in the stadium's watching all these Josh Dobbs highlights. And I can't help but think, by the time he's done, and he's got senior week coming up next week against Missouri, he's going to leave here as one of the most beloved players in Tennessee history.
He's a ton of talent. Just an outstanding young man, team player.
And what a great...
Always, every time we had a chance to talk to him, he's talking about the team, never himself.
And what a great representative for the program as a whole. You know, it's hard for anybody to match up with Peyton Manning's legacy here on the field. And everything that Peyton did so great off the field. Deep ball for Baker, and that's knocked away by Malik Foreman. But Joshua Dobbs, every time you turn around, he's doing something for somebody in the community, a sick kid.
Yep.
I just think that, you know, the numbers are one thing, and maybe they're not going to finish a top 10 team this season like they began it, but I think Tennessee fans that know what Joshua Dobbs is all about appreciate him for everything he's done for this program and this community. Then again, the numbers are nothing to sneeze at either. They've gone final in the Swamp. Florida knocks off South Carolina 20-7.
You mentioned numbers. How about this? Before that play, Kentucky, 520 yards of total offense. Tennessee, 522. 370 rushing yards for Kentucky. 4 players with, as I mentioned earlier, 79 or more yards. But 5 trips to the red zone, only 1 touchdown. You're throwing the turnover inside the 5-yard line. It's the difference. You're kicking field goals, they're scoring touchdowns.
Here comes Derek Barnett on the edge. He gets to Steven Johnson. Who didn't see that one coming? Loss of 7.
He had to tie his buddy. On the other side, Corey Vereen has 2 sacks to his credit. Barnett had 1. Just rounded the corner to get his second of the ball game.
He's closing in on the minister of defense, Reggie White, the great Tennessee product in terms of career sacks.
How about that strength? Just an under move, up and under, and great body lean to get to Steven Johnson.
Josh Smith back to return this punt. They stick with him after he fumbled away the last opportunity. Grant McInnes, freshman from Findlay, Ohio, lets it go. Take a couple of hops. Everyone in the stadium says, get away, Josh. And get away so we get a chance to look back at one of the greats in Tennessee history. He's rocking the orange sickle uniform, too. There's Reggie White. In the early 80s, before he not only was All-American here and big-time disruptor, but also making great money in the NFL. Look at that hit.
Wow. Well, within striking distance, 2 sacks to tie, 3 to become Tennessee's, actually to overtake Reggie White.
You tell a kid, he comes in here his freshman year, he has this monster season, and you say if you keep it up, you might surpass Reggie White for the all-time school sack record. Come on.
Yeah, and he's very much the alpha male of this program.
Yep. And John Kelly stays on his feet. A team needs leaders all the time, Andre, but in a situation like this, what Tennessee has been through with all of the injuries, with the defection of a star running back who was one of the best in the country last year, you need a guy who's going to be able to step up and remind the locker room what's important, and it seems that Derek Barnett's that guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you know, he speaks, the entire team listens. Maybe not popular with everybody and everybody's opinion, but you respect him. And you know what he's there for. He's there to win football games and hold everything together.
And hold people accountable. That makes the coaches' jobs so much easier when a team can police itself. And if somebody steps out of the line, you're the first one to grab them and say, hey, we're all pulling the rope this way. Kelly loses 4 yards on the carry. So here's what needs to happen for Tennessee to make it to Atlanta, back to the SEC championship game. Remember, they're blown out by Alabama earlier this season. Could be Auburn that they might face if they get there. They need to finish off this one, knock off Missouri and Vanderbilt, and have Florida lose to LSU. Remember, Hurricane Matthew pushed back that Florida-LSU matchup and moved it from Gainesville to Baton Rouge. So thanks Mother Nature in that regard if you're a Tennessee fan. Then again, if they would have been forced to play LSU that
Wouldn't
day,
have been eligible anyway.
Well,
had they not played it.
And on top of that, Florida was so banged up along their defensive front, their linebackers, their quarterback, they would have all been out for that LSU game if it was played on schedule. Here's Kelly again. He's something special. That's a 27-yard run for John Kelly.
And it's Jason Croom, something special as well, out in front, leading the way. The tight end throwing a nice block for John Kelly. Keep your eyes on number 18 out in space. Once he breaks the line of scrimmage, you see him there. Nice block down the field, kick out against Mike Edwards, the safety. That opened up some room for John Kelly to turn it into from a medium gain of about 8 to 10 to the big one that he just finished off.
335 yards on the ground today for Tennessee. Kelly brought down by Adrian Middleton. Cole.
You see Bill backside penetration. They're disrupting that play time. But one thing we've seen more from Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator for the Vols, and his offense today is the outside zone play. Haven't been a heavy zone team this season, especially to the perimeter. DeBoer telling us yesterday thought he had to do it against this defense that ran 4-eye techniques, which is an inside shade of the tackle. So they want to line up those tackles on the inside, B gap, close to the guard, try to force you to the outside. It puts a lot of pressure on the edge and alley defenders, and Kentucky has not answered that bell today.
I always learned something new from Cole. Last night I had him demonstrate that to me using coffee cups, saucers, and a huge candy dish, which happened to be the center. Here's Alvin Kamara. Following Croom. Croom paves the way. Kamara down the sideline. Wow. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Once again, Jason Croom threw a nice block for John Kelly. Want to take care of the other back as well, Alvin Kamara. Watch him here. Watch 18 get this kick out block on Mike Edwards again. That freed it up for Kamara to get in the end zone. That's a unselfish player in Jason Croom doing the dirty work for Kamara.
Not bad for a former wide receiver. Josh Allen, the injured Wildcat, the sophomore from Montclair, New Jersey. Volunteers have put 48 points on the board. That ground game has been magnificent. 363 yards on the ground, 2 over 100, and Dobbs and Kamara, they each have 2 touchdowns, and John Kelly right behind him with 90 yards. .48-22 here. Let's take you back to the studio, check in with Peter.
All right, coming up in just a minute, about 12 minutes will kick off. That is a 3:40 kickoff. It'll start on the SEC Network alternate channel. Javon Moore, 39 catches on the season. Looking for some more from Drew Lock today. Back down to Neil.
All right, Peter, thank you. 2 players over 100 yards rushing for Tennessee. Last time that happened was at Florida last year with Dobbs and Hurd.
Well, could have 3 before it's all done.
Yeah, that hasn't happened.
7 minutes and 12 seconds, and all of a sudden you've got John Kelly nipping at 100 yards.
Allen helped to his feet. That hasn't happened for Tennessee since the Vandy game in 1991. Stewart, Hayden, and Phillips all over 100.
And then now you've got Jordan Jones already out. Now Josh Allen is gimpy. Tough physical game for Kentucky.
Kentucky hasn't been to a bowl game since 2010. They have winless Austin Peay coming to Lexington next week. Without a victory here, then they're going to have to lean on that game to get to 6 wins in the first bowl under the Stoops era. Medley's extra point is good. But for the most part for Kentucky, while they came in hoping to get a win here today, the hay is in the barn on their way to the postseason. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, plenty to prove, and they're proving it here today with a 49-point outburst.
I'm my team's #1 fan. Yay!
Sports. I've never been #1 at anything until I put these babies on. Now we're on a winning streak, and I have never taken them off. Do I know where I'm going? Absolutely. We're going to the playoffs.
Allstate guarantees your rates won't go up just because of an accident, starting the day you sign up.
So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
It's good to be in good hands.
For over 20 years, Checkin' to Cash has served as the one-stop money shop for millions of Americans. From our roots in Tennessee throughout the Southeast and across the country, we are a trusted state-licensed leader in short-term lending. We honor our Southeastern heritage and never miss a chance to support collegiate athletics in the South. And we are committed to providing critical financial services to the millions of consumers in the communities we serve. Checkin' to Cash, your one-stop money shop.
Right now, you're watching this. So Dari, Booger, and Chris are watching that, him, and them. Which means later, you can tune into SEC Now and watch it all. SEC Now, tonight on the SEC ESPN Network.
Next stop, LSU on the SEC Network.
This is truly one of the great football atmospheres.
We get another great opportunity to play next week in this conference.
Looking back, Evan Ingram. This is Kirk, a brilliant run. Let's play some SEC football.
SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss, 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, proud supporters of college football. It's good to be in good hands. And in part by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
A salute to all of our nation's veterans, past and present, as we take a look at some of the courageous soldiers from around the globe, proudly showing off their school pride. And as we celebrate Veterans Week on ESPN, we'd also like to thank the hardworking veterans who help to make this college football show a success every week. Walter Burns, Dave Carpentier, Chan Hartzog, and Paul Lambert. Gentlemen, we thank you for your service. 49-22, all Tennessee in this second half. And no return for Kentucky. So, Andre, then the next question is, where does Kentucky go from here? They're a win away from making it back to a bowl, and that would be a big step forward for Mark Stoops and his program.
Yeah, I got to feel like, they're pretty confident they can win against Austin Peay to get themselves to 6 wins and a bowl game. You get the extra bowl practices that go along with helping to build a program. You talk to any coach, that's the thing they shoot for in a bowl experience. Yeah, it's nice for the kids, but you get to keep developing young players for those 15 bowl practices.
I was visiting with John Calipari the other day. Shaheem King gets his first carry. And he was talking about the Georgia loss for Kentucky and what a great atmosphere and environment it was at Commonwealth Stadium. Yeah. He said, listen, everybody's talking about win the East. He said, forget it. He said, I told Stoops, just get to a bowl. Don't listen to all that outside noise. And it's the same message that you had a couple weeks ago when we had their game at Missouri. Let's take it one step at a time. And he knew Cal had a great idea, obviously, knowing the Kentucky program and being friends with Stoops. He knew what that 6th win would mean. So block out all that noise. Stay on time, and that being on time would be getting that 6th win as King gets his carry past the 40, gain of 13. Cal's team won their opener last night against Stephen F. Austin. De'Aaron Fox with 12 assists, freshman point guard.
And this is a team that a lot of youth for this Kentucky team. You know, we talked about it last week at South Carolina. A lot of youth there. They're going to be in the mix. A lot of youth at Missouri. And so I think the East will be healthy in years to come. As people have criticized it this year, but there's a lot of young talent that's going to be around for a while.
The East only has one win head-to-head against the West this season. That was Kentucky's walk-off field goal against Mississippi State a few weeks ago. So the balance certainly resides in the West. And what will be interesting is the 25th anniversary of the SEC title game in Atlanta. first weekend of December. Whoever represents the East, will they have a shot that day?
I don't know if it's Alabama or Auburn. Whoever wins the Iron Bowl represent the West, but I don't think so. That's a lot of power, and I would pick Alabama, and no way does anybody from the East have a shot that day.
Here's King again. And the whole pile will move past midfield. It will set up a 3rd and short. Cole?
Tom, you mentioned this Tennessee football team moving forward in Kentucky as well. Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator, future of the East. He talked about, I got to go against Jacob Eason, I got to go against Bentley at South Carolina, and I got to go against Jalen Hurts at Alabama for the next few years. So don't tell me how weak this division is and that I don't have talent that I got to go up against each and every year.
Yeah, even if it's cross-rival, having to play Hurts at Alabama, you know, they're on the schedule going forward.
King with a first down run. A good blocking down the field at the outset, and he's finally chased out of bounds by Cameron Sutton after a gain of 24. Shaheem King, sophomore from Moultrie, Georgia, at a Colquitt County High School, showing some moxie here late.
What, he's showing some quickness, some speed. Once he gets through the hole, good job. 5 carries, 51 yards for Shaheem King.
By the way, to tag what Cole was saying, Jalen Hurts today, the first player in Alabama football history, 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing in the same game. And that kid, I mean, the other guys are getting better. That guy's going to get better each and every game. Here's King again. He's got the sideline, and he cuts it back into the 5. Spins his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky, on a tough 24-yard run by Shaheem King.
Well, you get an opportunity to show the coaches what you're made of, and Shaheem King steps up in a big way for Mark Stoops. I mean, that will go a long way in the film room. I guarantee you that run will be pulled and shown to the team of how to just keep playing, keep competing. You never know what's going to happen. That's a heck of an effort.
Kentucky, 439 rush yards, 5 with 75 yards or more. A 49-29 lead for Tennessee.
Four pretty good backs that have played for Kentucky today.
By the way, it's Casada Membership Appreciation Week, the College Sports Information Directors of America, and we couldn't do our job without the help we get from the SIDs throughout, especially the SEC, but all throughout the country, including maybe our favorite, Susan Lax, who works closely with Tony Neely on the Kentucky staff. Yeah, you're going to start getting some text here because we're showing you on television. We're talking about how great you are. And thanks as well, of course, to the Tennessee staff, led by Ryan Robinson with Stephen Lee and MJ Burns and Kellen Heiser. Those guys and gals every week give us the time and the materials to make sure we know, or at least can pretend like we know what we're talking about when we bring you the game. So thank you all.
You get the information necessary to work the game, and it's there in a timely manner. And Susan does a heck of a job of helping out, along with MJ.
20-point lead here, under 4 minutes to go. For those of you waiting for Missouri and Vandy, we'll get you to Columbia as soon as we finish here in Knoxville. Onside kick from Kentucky, down 20 maybe?
I would.
Trying to let the kicker recover it. Ball's loose. And Kentucky got it.
What an onside kick.
Jared Daniel, the defensive end, and they're lined up right next to the kicker, McGinnis, and covers it.
Yeah, watch this bounce the ball takes by McGinnis. I mean, it's perfect. Just kind of hops over. Cortez McDowell, watch it right here. Just hops right over his head right at the last second. That is well executed.
First Kentucky onside kick since November of 14 against Missouri. Tennessee shows blitz again. Johnson with the out route complete for a first down. Let's quickly check in with Peter Burns in the studio for the kickoff of Mizzou and Vandy.
Indeed, gentlemen, if you are looking for the start of Vanderbilt at Mizzou, you can go ahead and check it out on the SEC alternate channel. As soon as Tennessee Kentucky goes final, that game will be back on the regular channel. Back to you guys in Neyland.
All right, thank you, Peter. Kentucky nearing a school record for rushing yardage, but that's going to be hurt there as LaTroy Lewis gets to Steven Johnson for a sack. There'll be a loss of 8.
Yeah, Malik Foreman comes off the corner. A late blitz off the corner from the short side. I don't think Steven Johnson ever saw him coming.
Malik Foreman, the injured player. Second and 18. Garrett Johnson with the catch. Gain of 19.
Well, there's no quit in this Kentucky team. They may be down by 20, but still playing awfully hard.
616 yards of total offense today. To be honest, I didn't expect that from Kentucky today.
Not on the road against a team like Tennessee, but it was all the way back to the red zone possession.
Deep ball into the end zone, overthrown. Almost like Manning and Couch all over again in the total yardage and the numbers that those two dudes put up in the 97 game. Tennessee also won that one going away. They put up 52 points that afternoon. JoJo Kemp this time.
Close to a first down, not quite there.
Gain of 8. Crossing route that's complete to Dorian Baker. Spins away from Malik Foreman and then finally taken down. Kendall Vickers with the tackle.
Baker's got that big body. He should be just an automatic thought for Eddie Gran when you get down in the red zone.
Johnson flush out of the pocket. Will try to tuck it and run with it. Hesitation move, and he's tripped up in the open field by Rashawn Golden after a gain of a couple.
How many times have you called Golden's name, and then now you got Vereen shaken up?
Well, it hasn't all been positive for Golden. I mean, early in the game, he was taking himself out of position on some of those corner blitzes. This will be the first loss, by the way, by an FBS team this season when rushing for 400 yards or more. Kentucky's got 441. Vereen leaves the field. 1:57 to go. Up next for Tennessee, Missouri comes to town. And they'll be heavily favored in that one. And this is a team that could very easily make it to 9 wins, be a 10-win team after the bowl season. And that loss at South Carolina, where Butch Jones said, I've never had a team be as unprepared and unmotivated to go in and play a game. That could be the game that cost them the division. Penalty flag and pass interference on Garrett Johnson. So this will be a fresh set of downs for Kentucky. Said even Josh Dobbs came to the sideline in that game after bad plays, hanging his head, disappointed. He said, I've never seen that from him before.
Pass interference on the defense, number 22. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Usually pretty even keel, but he said he could see right away because of Josh Dobbs how the kind of frustration had set in.
Abernathy flag. First and goal, Kentucky. Johnson cuts it back, and he is in. Touchdown on a Steven Johnson scramble. Caps an 8-play drive.
Nice job of cutting back, still continuing to compete, and he's laying on top of Derek Barnett, so he is not down. Tell you what, Kentucky's not going to win this football game. Something magical happens, but Mark Stoops can go away from this one, knowing that his football team did not quit.
This extra point means more to some than it does others. And with 1:41 to go, McGinnis puts it through. It's a 13-point difference. All 3 timeouts remain for Kentucky. 1:41 to go here. Let's check in with Peter.
In time for those looking for the start of the Missouri-Vanderbilt game. That game is underway. You can catch on the SEC ESPN Network alternate channel. First points potentially score, being quick here. We will head back down for Kentucky, Tennessee for the end of that game.
Hey, Peter, never forget, as a play-by-play man, you make a great studio host. You think Dave and Stinch got that extra Butch's burger?
No, they're sitting already. I promise you. Go again. Let's see what McGinnis does with this one.
Same play. And Colton Jumper able to jump out there and cover it before it covered the 10 yards.
Couldn't quite get that big hop that he had on the first one.
Yeah, Jumper never let it happen. Now for our Jimmy John's player of the game, Joshua Dobbs, the senior quarterback from Alpharetta, Georgia, will go to 4-0 against Kentucky in his career. Pretty good day. John Kelly bottled up. Courtney Love with the hit. Started every game at linebacker. It's the first year started this season for Kentucky.
Now it's just let the clock run. You can get in a victory formation. And
Auburn and Georgia underway, by the way. Does Georgia have a chance to upset the apple cart by knocking off Auburn today?
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Quite a day for number 11.
Got it started to Josh Smith. Had a touchdown run of his own. Ethan Wolf for his second touchdown pass. Then this one, his final play is, I think he's had all year, to Josh Malone. Throwing him open. Big touchdown run here. Sprinting down the sideline, breaking tackles. What a day for Joshua Dobbs.
He apologized to you for missing our meeting yesterday. He was in class. I was upset because I didn't get to reach in that big bag of Starburst he carries with him everywhere. 2nd and 7. A stiff arm. And Dobbs wisely slides inbounds to keep that clock running after they reset the chains.
Yeah, I would imagine that Mark Stoops will just let it run out from here. He's trying to get one more possession. If he was able to stop Tennessee, get some more work with his offense, but with that first down, that's just about going to do it.
Make it academic. 12 designed quarterback runs today for Joshua Dobbs. He nailed the number. 181 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. That is great game planning. Here's John Kelly. So Tennessee needs to win its final 2 games, knocking off Missouri here at Neyland Stadium and getting a win at Vandy to close the regular season. Hope that Florida stumbles in their trip to Baton Rouge, and that would send Tennessee to Atlanta to represent the SEC East in the SEC championship game. And they'll be in Atlanta for the first time since 2007. This was a big win. Big win for Tennessee and Butch Jones and his entire program. Once again, our final score, Tennessee 49, Kentucky 36. Dave Neal, Matt Stinchcomb ready to bring you Vanderbilt at Missouri in Columbia, Missouri. So we take you from Neyland Stadium to Faurot Field. Our final, Tennessee over Kentucky 49-36. Now to Como. Here's Stinch and Dave.